What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description.
10BT. Chapter 256 Queen of the Pleasure District. Sure enough, seeing the dim sum and smelling the aroma, Big Mom immediately salivated.
A large drop of saliva fell on the ground, corroding the ground directly into thick smoke. Facing this scene, Strice did not change his face, and still maintained a smiling expression. It has to be said that the members of CPO were top-notch in every aspect. Thank you so much, Stracy. Big Mom couldn't wait to pick up a piece of snack and threw it into his mouth, with an expression of enjoyment on his face. Are we good sisters? Thank you so much. Stracy deliberately made an angry expression. Yes, we are good sisters. Well, take your seat, Big Mom said excitedly like a child. Namikaze Kirito on the side raised his eyes and glanced at Stracy. Just at this time Stracy also looked at Namikaze Kirito. She directly showed a charming smile, blinked her beautiful eyes vigorously, and after giving Namikaze Kirito an ambiguous look, she returned to her seat and pretended nothing happened. But Namikaze Kirito narrowed his eyes and took a closer look at Stracy. It seems that the world government asked you to investigate O3's information. You are really a bunch of narrow-minded guys. If I want to do something to you, I need to join forces with Big Mom. Who do you look down on? While Namikaze Kirito was still thinking, two more acquaintances entered the door. Bello, Betty and Monkey D. Dragon. Others can't recognize the latter, but Namikaze Kirito can be recognized at a glance. No matter Dong Dong or Sha Tien, they are all dressed in green robes flamboyantly. Who else could it be? Monkey D. Dragon, and the captain of the Revolutionary Army, together with Stracy and Big Mom, and so many underworld emperors. It's so interesting. Are you planning to hold a world summit? Namikaze Kirito evil interesting daughter-in-law said. After the cadres of the Revolutionary Army came in, Stracy's beautiful eyes kept staring at Bello Betty, and the cold light in her eyes obviously recognized her. Bello Betty is too discerning, not to mention as CP0, how can he not understand the intelligence of the Revolutionary Army? But at this time, Stracy didn't dare to act rashly. She planned to pass the information to the world government after the Tea Party, and let the high-level officials decide what to do. Namikaze Kirito is here. It is destined that they cannot act casually, and they are still on the territory of the four emperors. As long as they are not stupid, the world government will at most take follow-up actions, and will not consider arresting Bello Betty until she leaves the world. Otherwise, it will directly cause turmoil in the world again, and facing Namikaze Kirito and another four emperors plus the Revolutionary Army at once is not fun. Advertisement. Seeing that everyone was already seated, Big Mom swallowed the food in his mouth, opened his mouth wide, and started his speech. Welcome everyone to my tea party. Our gathering is to exchange information we have obtained with each other. Also, as everyone knows, the one next to me is Namikaze Kirito. It's him, who recently suppressed the world government repeatedly, and even killed 2 marine marshals, but he stole the limelight. Well, it's also because he is famous in the sea at such a young age, so my daughter admires him very much. Well, find me, a mother, and talk about it. While talking, Big Mom looked at the children not far away. Smoothie, don't be shy, just come out. Yes, Mom. With a burst of Royal Sister's voice, Smoothie, who has the best gun mount in the pirate world, also slowly walked out of the crowd. Nearly 5 meters tall, with a seductive figure, plus a human weapon, and that cold face. What's even more amazing is her identity, one of the 3 dessert generals of the Big Mom Pirates. On weekdays, the Big Mom Pirates continue to get married, and everyone has become accustomed to it. No one thought that this time they would send Smoothie to marry. But thinking about Namikaze Kirito's identity, it's normal.
It is estimated that if Big Mom can do it, she would like to do it by herself, but it is estimated that if she dares to say so, Namikaze Kirito can directly sink the cake island for her.
Smoothie, Mom has already told you the truth, so you don't have to be embarrassed. Smoothie bit his lower lip tightly, his face full of tangled colors. Seeing that Smoothie was silent, Big Mom's expression darkened. Didn't you tell me that you admire Namikaze Kirito? Hearing this, all the guests curled their lips. Why do you admire Namikaze Kirito? It's pure nonsense, and it's not all because of you. The male guests are envious of Namikaze Kirito, and the Pirate Queen has joined Namikaze Kirito, which is known to everyone in the world. Advertisement. The most beautiful woman in the world. Who can't be tempted? Now even the world's #1 gun mount is about to become Namikaze. These male guests were as if they had eaten countless sour lemons, and their teeth were all pantothenic. Namikaze Kirito was also a little surprised. Although he could tell from the invitation letter that Big Mom meant this, who would have thought that this matter would be brought up at the beginning of the tea party? I gave you face. I came to your island to eat some desserts, but as soon as I came up, I asked me to get married? Are you kidding here? Smoothie heard Big Mom's words, and her tender body trembled slightly. In the Big Mom pirate group, all the children knew what would happen if they resisted Mom, and at least they would lose their lifespan. If it is heavier, I am afraid that it will die on the spot. How ironic. Bio17GMOM formed a powerful pirate group by relying on his own children, but there is no family affection in this pirate group. As for the Whitebeard pirates, everyone obviously has no blood relationship, but they are connected together by the bond called family. They even died in the Summit War for the son they recognize. Smoothie struggled for a long time, but in the end, he was still afraid of his mother's power, and turned his head to look at Namikaze Kirito. Mom is right, I have admired Mr. Kirito for a long time. I hope you can give me a chance. Looking at Smoothie's gritting teeth, Namikaze Kirito was a little bit dumbfounded. I seem to have become the kind of big villain who forces others to marry him. In other words, he is a villain in the first place, but he has never done such a thing. Wait a minute, Lin. Just when Namikaze Kirito was about to refuse, Stracy, who was sitting aside, suddenly spoke. If it was someone else, interrupting Big Mom's plan, she might run away on the spot, but seeing that it was his best friend, Big Mom's expression eased a lot. What's the matter, Stracy? Is such that? Stracy stood up slowly, wiped the corners of her mouth gracefully, and said softly. Actually, I haven't told you that I'm also very interested in Mr. Kirito, so I hope you can think about Smoothie again. Chapter 257. I'm not interested in blonde women. What? Are you kidding me? The Queen of Fun Street is in love with Namikaze Kirito? It's a lie. Today is going to be a big event. Stracy is going to fight with Big Mom. Another beauty. I am so envious. As soon as Stracy's words came out, the whole scene immediately stood up. Who of them would have thought that things would become so bloody? Queen of the Pleasure District, Stracy, fell in love with 4 Emperors Namikaze Kirito. Not only that, but also when another 4 Emperors Big Mom proposed to marry his own woman. This is going to be a conflict. Everyone has raised their vigilance. If there is a battle, they should leave this room immediately and find a ship to leave this place of right and wrong. Bello Betty also opened her mouth wide to watch this scene. The cigarette in her mouth even fell to the ground. Boss, are you sure you want to form an alliance with this unreliable scum? Long was also a little dazed. He originally wanted to wait until the tea session was over and find a chance to chat with Namikaze Kirito alone, but how could things develop like this? The surroundings were in chaos, and Namikaze Kirito, who was involved, was even more confused. What's the situation? Why did Stracy join in the fun? She was going to reject Big Mom, but CP intervened again? Stracy, what are you talking about? Big Mom's expression became gloomy when he heard this. It has to be said that this is Stracy. If it were someone else, the war would have started directly. It can be seen that the relationship between Big Mom and Stracy is still very good on weekdays. In the face of Big Mom's anger, others may be afraid, but Stracy is still so calm, with a hint of deep meaning in her beautiful eyes. Lin, I'm so sorry. At this time, I should have supported you. But there's no way. I've really fallen in love with this man. As she spoke, Stracy looked at Namikaze Kirito full of love, and the guests who didn't know the truth believed her words instantly. Only Namikaze Kirito was full of sneers in his heart. If others don't know, how can he not know? As the cipher pole of the world government, of course, it is necessary to prevent things that are not good for the world government, and Big Mom let Smoothie marry him, which is the biggest bad news for the world government. The already invincible Namikaze Kirito, with so many excellent men, plus the Big Mom pirates, can the sea still be calm? Even if Stracy, who knows Big Mom, knows that Big Mom sent his daughter to marry Namikaze Kirito, it is not for the benefit of the world government, but definitely for the benefit of the new world. But even if there is only a slight possibility, she can't let this happen. Advertisement, Stracy. Big Mom's face turned completely black. She didn't expect that Smoothie didn't dare to resist her, and in the end her best friend came out to disrupt the situation. Even if you were a close friend, you don't allow the slightest mistake in this matter, and anyone who affects your plan deserves to die. Big Mom's body began to exude a powerful momentum. Mom, it's over. Mom is going to lose her temper. Ah, what should I do? Katakuri, big brother, what should we do? Seeing that all the brothers and sisters panicked, Katakuri stood up directly. Mom, today is a day worth celebrating. Please don't get angry. Katakuri, shut up. Do you even want to defy me? Don't dare. Katakuri stood where he was, letting the aura of Big Mom rest on his body. There are a lot of guests today, and Mr. Kirito is also beside him. Please calm down. Hearing Namikaze Kirito's name, Big Mom regained his composure. She also realized now that this matter is not up to her and Stracy. Namikaze Kirito is not someone they can handle at will. If he doesn't want to, no one in this room can force him. Thinking of this, Big Mom stared at Smoothie. His eyes seemed to be urging her to act quickly. How could Smoothie fail to understand what Big Mom meant, and originally thought that Stracy's appearance would relieve her of this fate, but it turned out that Big Mom was going to get angry. Now she is in a fit of anger. If she continues to be angry with her, if there is no accident, there will definitely be an accident. I saw Smoothie walking directly towards Namikaze Kirito. Mr. Kirito, I really admire you very much. Please give me a chance. Then he sat on the ground, waiting for the other party's answer. The reason why he sat on the ground without taking a chair was because Namikaze Kirito was nearly 2 meters tall, according to normal terms. This was already very high, but it turned out to be not enough for Smoothie, who was nearly 5 meters tall. If you don't sit on the ground, don't you become looking down? It has to be said that there are many races in the world of pirates, and the height is destined to be impossible to look at with the eyes of ordinary people. Advertisement. Fortunately, Namikaze Kirito has the ability to change himself, and even change the body shape of others. Otherwise, even if he accepts Smoothie, it will be a bit strange to stand together in another world in the future. Looking at Smoothie in front of him, love barely appeared on his face that should have remained calm. Looking at Stracy not far away, looking at him with affectionate eyes, Namikaze Kirito really wanted to laugh. Really, this room is full of actors. Big Mom is playing, Stracy is playing, Smoothie is playing, the Revolutionary Army duo are playing, even Katakuri is there. It seems that I have to cooperate with this play. Thinking of this, Namikaze Kirito directly stretched out his hand and pinched Smoothie's round and smooth chin directly. You admire me? No. That's right, Looking at Namikaze Kirito's eyes that wished to eat her directly, Smoothie said a little evasively. If someone else dared to treat her like this, she would have been squeezed into juice long ago, but Big Mom was looking at her with those huge eyes, not to mention, even if she wanted to resist, she couldn't beat Namikaze Kirito. This is known as the #1 existence in the world. Even his own Mon is not as good as the other party. Isn't she paying for nothing? Money? Mr. Kirito, won't you give me a chance? Just when Namikaze Kirito was about to say something, Stracy, who was not far away, saw the intimacy scene between the two and shouted anxiously. No matter what, to destroy this marriage is the only thing on Stracy's mind right now. Give you a chance? Namikaze Kirito looked at Stracy and said playfully, sorry, I'm not very interested in blonde women. As soon as this remark came out, Stracy, who was still performing, affectionate, froze directly on her face. No interest in blonde-haired women? Most of the people around opened their mouths wide open. What is the reason? What does it mean not to be interested in blonde women? In terms of looks alone, Stracy is definitely better than Smoothie. What's more, there are titles such as Queen of the Pleasure District, which is a plus for men. Chapter 258 Agreeing to Marriage. Mr. Kirito is very humorous. Stracy's mouth was so shocked that Kakuzu couldn't help but twitched, but because he wanted to make a good impression on Namikaze Kirito, he could barely maintain a smile on his face. By the way, I want to resolve the embarrassment and say that the other party is joking. But Namikaze Kirito obviously didn't mean to go down the steps, but continued to say quietly, and to be honest, you don't grow up in my aesthetics, so don't like me, I'm very troubled. Is that so? I'm really sorry. At the end, Stracy suppressed her anger, her beautiful eyes filled with coldness. Although she is a member of the world government Cypher Pole and has received rigorous training, she is also a woman with both ability and beauty. With the pride of being a woman, I was hit by Namikaze Kirito's words one after another. I have long forgotten what missions and the like, if I can beat the opponent, I guess Stracy would have made a move by this time. The only thing that suppresses her rationality is the strength of Namikaze Kirito. Seeing Stracy's deflated expression, Namikaze Kirito almost laughed 203 times. In fact, he didn't have any liking or dislike for Stracy. It's just that I don't like the world government behind her. Originally, I was thinking of rejecting Big Mom's marriage request, but since the world government wants to sabotage this matter so much, I have to agree. The more anxious you are, the sooner I can see your background. Rabbits will bite people when they are in a hurry, not to mention the world government that has stood for many years, the most powerful person in the eyes of the 5 elders. They will not allow alternatives like Namikaze Kirito to survive in the world. Even if there is some restraint at present, it is because he is not fully sure about Namikaze Kirito, and even the mysterious Lord I Am behind him has no intention of showing his face. But as long as Namikaze Kirito continues to make the other party feel threatened like this, sooner or later, those people in world government will not be able to bear it anymore. Advertisement at that time, it will be time for Namikaze Kirito to completely take over the world. In addition to the marriage with the Big Mom pirate group, there are other things that can touch the nerves of 5 elders, that is, the blank 100-year history, and ancient weapon, in other words, Nico Robin. As long as you make good use of the only survivor of Ohara, the hidden background of the world government will definitely be exposed soon. That's one reason Namikaze Kirito kept her under his command. The conversation between the two was clearly heard by the people around them. They saw that Stracy, the queen of the pleasure district, was deflated. Although they didn't gloat, they still laughed secretly. No way, you chase after Namikaze Kirito, but he is not only uninterested in you, but even hates you. It's a pure hot face with a cold ****. There was an unstoppable smile on Big Mom's face. Originally, she wanted to get angry because of the backstab of her best friend, but what she didn't expect was that Namikaze Kirito was so powerful that it directly made Stracy return home without a feather, and even made her lose face. To be honest, Big Mom feels sorry for Stracy now. Before she said that Smoothie was going to marry Namikaze Kirito, Stracy intervened in the script and lost face. With such a fuss now, not only has he regained his face, but he has also taken revenge on Stracy. How could Big Mom not be happy? Well, Stracy, there is no way around this, even the parties agree. It seems that my daughter is more attractive. Yes, I really can't compare to you, Lin. What else can Stracy say now? She can only reluctantly apologize. Her behavior just now almost angered Big Mom. Now she can only keep a low profile. She can't afford to offend Namikaze Kirito, but that doesn't mean she can offend Big MBM up. The status of 4 emperors is not blown out, but actually played out, ADBB. If she really angered Big Mom, even if she was a friend, Stracy didn't think that the other party would show mercy to her. At this moment, Smoothie looked at Namikaze Kirito in front of him, feeling flustered and disgusted in his heart. Because Namikaze Kirito is still pinching her chin at this moment, and the playfulness in his eyes is clearly visible. It's not that he is interested in himself at all, but he seems to regard himself as an object. Advertisement as a cadre of the 4 Emperors pirate group. When did Smoothie suffer such humiliation? And Namikaze Kirito seems to be younger than her. This behavior made her even more ashamed and angry, but even so, she could only keep still. There was no way. The sense of oppression brought by Namikaze Kirito was too strong. Namikaze Kirito, it really makes me happy to see you love my daughter so much. Can this matter be settled? Big Mom watched Namikaze Kirito and Smoothie stare at each other, and quickly said while the iron was hot. I have no objection. Hearing this, Namikaze Kirito let go of the hand holding Smoothie's chin, rested his head on his hands again, and said casually. This matter is settled like this. You choose a time, and I can send it to you. Someone is coming to pick you up. Well, don't bother, since we mentioned it, how about just a few days, let me find a time, and you two will be together. Big Mom's eyes were full of eagerness. She didn't want to quickly establish an alliance with Namikaze Kirito, but the red-haired Shanks, even if there are so many underground forces present here, no one knows where he went. That is to say, the redhead may be going to attack Namikaze Kirito, and if the relationship is established now, as long as there is a move, Big Mom can get enough benefits. What if Namikaze Kirito returns to the Golden City? What if the redhead makes a move as soon as he returns? Wouldn't it be a waste of time to do this? Hearing that Big Mom was so eager, Namikaze Kirito's eyes flashed a hint of deep meaning. Using the previous information, he certainly understood Big Mom's plan, which was to make himself invincible. No matter who wins or loses in the next war, Big Mom can get certain benefits. If Namikaze Kirito dies, then Big Mom's Smoothie, as his woman, will of course take over the Golden City. With the influence of Big Mom, the Four Emperors group, the Golden City is basically in his pocket. If Hongfa loses, then by virtue of the power of her marriage with Namikaze Kirito, she can naturally occupy Hongfa's territory and resources in New World. This old lady, the idea is really beautiful, but I hate others to plot against me, so your idea must have failed. Wangwo is a good place, and you, Katakuri. Thinking of this, Namikaze Kirito looked at Katakuri not far away, and at this moment, the other party also looked over. Chapter 259. Contacting the Revolutionary Army. The two looked at each other, and Namikaze Kirito instantly understood Katakuri's eyes. It was a wave of determination, which meant that Katakuri had already made up his mind. From the first time he saw Katakuri, Namikaze Kirito was sure that this person was a good choice as a partner. Coupled with the understanding of the plot, it is basically a certainty for Katakuri to join him. Probably Big Mom never dreamed that just when she was thinking of plotting against Namikaze Kirito also had the idea of attacking her. After Big Mom said that, Namikaze Kirito seemed to be lost in thought in the eyes of everyone. After a while, he finally said, okay, then I'll stay in Cake Island for a few more days, and you can arrange the rest. Hearing this, a trace of despair flashed in Smoothie's beautiful eyes. And the Big Mom at the front couldn't help laughing. Well, don't worry, I will hold a grand wedding for you. Smoothie is my most beloved daughter. These few days let her accompany you in the sky. The banquet has begun. Following Big Mom's order, countless homies came out with delicacies, even humming in their mouths. It can be seen how good Big Mom's mood is now. Stracy sat in her seat, eating, and occasionally raised her head to look at Namikaze Kirito. She didn't show any killing intent. As a member of CP0, she is also a strong person. She knows that people like Namikaze Kirito are very sensitive to killing intent. If she reveals something wrong, she will probably pay a heavy price. So Stracy became extremely low-key, only slightly trembling eyelashes could show that her heart was not peaceful at all. The banquet ended quickly with laughter, and Big Mom also took the children of his pirate group to find a reason to leave, and ordered his subordinates to take good care of these guests. The reason why she left in such a hurry, Namikaze Kirito knew without even thinking about it. It must be to discuss the next plan. The biggest goal of marriage has been achieved. What else is worth lingering? Advertisement, but Namikaze Kirito doesn't care about this. Anyway, soon, this 10,000 kingdoms will belong to him. Thinking of this, Namikaze Kirito left the banquet hall directly, planning to go to the island to take a good look. At this moment, the two revolutionary soldiers who had been silent at the banquet also left with Namikaze Kirito. Stracy clearly saw this scene not far away. Is the Revolutionary Army also planning to contact Namikaze Kirito? The news must be reported to the headquarters as soon as possible, otherwise they will run away later. Namikaze Kirito feared the world government because of force, and the Revolutionary Army was a thorn in their throats. These people are not like Namikaze Kirito, who directly punches you in the face. Instead, it hides in the dark, like a mouse, so that people can't catch it, but every time it goes to a country, it will directly overthrow the regime of that country, causing countless franchise countries to put forward opinions on the world government. Did the five elders not want to take care of it? Of course they wanted to take care of it, but they didn't know where the headquarters of the Revolutionary Army was, let alone the cadres of the Revolutionary Army. So what to do? Now, the Revolutionary Army showed up because of Big Mom's tea party. This is a good opportunity. Thinking of this, Stracy also left quickly, planning to find a place to report the situation to her contact person. Whether it was Namikaze Kirito or the Revolutionary Army, she could not solve it by herself. Namikaze Kirito wandered around the Cake Island, and I have to say, the buildings made of beautiful things are really interesting. Just like Tezulo's bad taste, not to mention the King of Gold Hotel, even the bed frames inside are made of gold, directly telling you what a rich person is. It is not unreasonable for Big Mom, including many forces, to be greedy for the Golden City. With 20% of the world's money, who cannot be tempted? But with the protection of the world government before, they had no chance. Now, Namikaze Kirito was born even more tyrannically. Anyone who wants to make a decision has to consider how many lives he has. And what Big Mom thinks is to get the Golden City without bloodshed. This idea coincides with Namikaze Kirito's. Both want to get the other's territory. The difference is that Big Mom is afraid of Namikaze Kirito's strength, so he can only think of using some tricks to get the Golden City. Namikaze Kirito didn't have so many worries. If it wasn't for getting a companion and disgusting the world government by the way, he only needed to bring his men down to rob the nations. In the context of growing power, this is not empty talk. 0. Asking for flowers. Soon, Namikaze Kirito came to a store. It seemed that there were a lot of people tasting delicious food here, and he would certainly not let go of those who wanted to enjoy life. Advertisement. He pushed open the door and walked in. The sneaky, Long and Bello Betty behind them also entered the store. As soon as Namikaze Kirito entered the store, the people around were shocked, and one by one, they checked out and left. After all, it is normal to be feared because of the notoriety. Namikaze Kirito doesn't care about it, anyway, it's quieter with fewer people. After he sat on the seat, the clerk came over tremblingly and ordered for Namikaze Kirito. While Namikaze Kirito was waiting for the dishes, finally, Bello Betty and Ryu sat down directly. 0. You. Hello, mister. Bello Betty almost called out the word trash, but fortunately, the dragon on the side stopped it in time. Namikaze Kirito's temper can be seen from the news reports, and he is a master who does whatever he wants. If you really offend him, don't talk about cooperating. If you don't give you 2 punches, it's because of his kindness. Oh, I'm still thinking about what reason you guys will use to talk to me. Didn't you expect it to be so straightforward? Bello Betty, the commander of the Revolutionary Army, and Monkey D. Dragon. As soon as these words came out, the muscles of Bello Betty's body immediately tensed up, and even a steady person like Long couldn't help shaking. He is obviously wearing a robe and has never been in contact with Namikaze Kirito, so why did he guess his identity in an instant? Relax, relax, don't be so vigilant. Namikaze Kirito waved his hand, indicating that the two should not be nervous. If I want to do something to you, I guarantee that you two will lie here directly, so don't think so much. The blunt words made Long and secretly sigh. Sure enough, a strong person speaks with such confidence. Anyway, his identity has been exposed, and there is no point in wearing a robe. Long directly lifted the hood, revealing a face that is 80% like Garp. Bello Betty also relaxed, as long as there is no hostility. You know, although she can awaken the power hidden in other people's bodies, but this fruit doesn't improve herself too much when she fights. What's more, they are facing a strong player like Namikaze Kirito. Chapter 260. You pay the bill. Mr. Kirito, we're here to talk to you in order to seek cooperation. The dragon who took off his hood spoke softly, his tone full of seriousness. I think, you should understand more or less what we are doing. What you do is even more famous all over the world. Under this premise, I think, we have a common enemy. Enemies? You mean the 5 old guys? That's right. Long nodded. Of course he knew who the 5 old guys in Namikaze Kirito's mouth were worth. Isn't it the 5 elders who have the highest power in the world on the surface? In other words, it is the world government itself. Guest, your meal has arrived. The waiter tremblingly served Namikaze Kirito's order. Seeing the dishes on the table, Long's eyes froze because he saw 3 sets of tableware and 3 staple foods, including a large number of 923 dishes. It can be said that Namikaze Kirito has known for a long time that the two of them will come to him to discuss cooperation. Don't just sit around and eat. I've ordered everything for you, but remember to pay the bill when you leave. While talking, Namikaze Kirito picked up the tableware and began to eat. Seeing this, Bello Betty was not polite, picked up a chicken leg and started to chew on it. Only Long looked at Namikaze Kirito with a wry smile on his face, and at the same time, he was somewhat surprised in his heart. Namikaze Kirito's style of acting is reckless from the beginning to the end. Of these few major events that shocked the world, none of them directly took personal risks, or directly rushed into the Summit War and became an enemy of Marine. Or just disagree with each other and hit the Holy Land. Before today, the dragon would only think that Namikaze Kirito acted like that because of his simple mind, but after observing him for a while, the dragon understood that Namikaze Kirito is not incapable of calculating. It's that he has absolute confidence in his own strength. Of course, no matter who the opponent is, such a person has no need to use his brain to calculate. Well, things in this store are really good. Bello Betty, like Namikaze Kirito, started to swirl the clouds towards the dishes on the table, but she is still qualified. The subordinates did not forget to look at the dragon while eating. Boss, you can eat some too. You're the one who pays anyway. It would be too bad if you don't eat. Advertisement. While talking and eating, food residues flew everywhere. If the dragon didn't hide quickly, it would have sprayed on him. Betty, we're talking about something. Hey, I know, you talk about you. What can I do as a subordinate? I just eat. B asterisk 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 D. You are not allowed to rob me. Seeing that Namikaze Kirito snatched and ate the food she was about to take, Bello Betty was furious and quickly started to fight for it. Those who don't know will probably think that the two of them are refugees who came here when they saw the way they were eating. Outside the restaurant, in the dark corner of the wall, several passers-by dressed in common were watching. Confirmed. The leader of the Revolutionary Army, Monkey D. Dragon, is in contact with Namikaze Kirito. Quickly report to the chief. What should we do about this matter? Dragon took the initiative to find Namikaze Kirito. This is definitely not easy. If possible, I hope to send Admiral to support the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long, and the army commander, Bello Betty. Plus this is Big Mom's territory. We have no way to continue tracking. I'll report right away. Keep watching. In the restaurant, as Namikaze Kirito and Bello Betty feasted, the dishes on the table became less and less. Finally, under the helpless eyes of the dragon, the two ate everything. Bello and Betty lit a cigarette, and even gave Namikaze Kirito one. Along with the lit tobacco, faint smoke filled Namikaze Kirito's mouth. Indeed, it seems that I have never smoked cigarettes when I came to this world. I smoked for a while when I was in the Hokage world, but Namikaze Kirito just does this kind of thing casually. He doesn't know how to smoke specifically. With his physical ability, there is no such thing as tobacco addiction. You're a nice fellow, Bello Betty. Namikaze Kirito looked at Bello Betty, who handed him the cigarette, with a hint of appreciation in his eyes. Nonsense, of course my mother is good. This cigarette is my treasure. If you treat me to something delicious, I will treat you. This is fairness. Advertisement. Bello Betty has the face of an angel and the figure of a devil, but she just breaks her kung fu as soon as she opens her mouth. She has a bold personality like a man. You can tell by her attire. If she wasn't afraid of bad influence, she would probably be shirtless. Zero. Not only because Jiraiya is the teacher of Minato and his wife, but also because of his bold and unaffected character. Mr. Kirito, shall we continue talking? Hearing this, a trace of helplessness and gratitude flashed in Long's eyes. Fortunately, he came out with Bello Betty. Otherwise, listening to Namikaze Kirito's words, if he was upset, wouldn't he give himself a chance to speak? 3.3 will. What do you mean? Long frowned slightly. He was not dissatisfied with Namikaze Kirito, but was thinking about what the other party was referring to. Do you know the flowers hidden behind those 5 old guys? Namikaze Kirito put his hands on his chin and said softly. He has been hostile to the world government for so long, and he probably knows from various information and documents that there is definitely something hidden behind the 5 elders. Do you really understand? Namikaze Kirito said with a hint of meaning in his tone. The whole world sees what you do. I don't think world government will pass so easily. I have dealt with them for many years and know them very well. Long didn't speak, but the unbelievable look in his eyes already showed everything. Okay, I have to say, I like Bello Betty's character very much, so you can continue talking. It seems that you have finished eating. If you don't have enough, you can order more. Long already had a look of no love in life, and even offered to add more food for the 2 of them. His bold personality will make people feel good in any world, just like Jiraiya in the Hokage world. Even though he tried to save Sarutobi Hiruzen several times, Namikaze Kirito did not attack him. There is no way a good meeting has become like this, so let's continue. Ha ha ha, I'm full. How about you, Bello Betty? Namikaze Kirito let out a loud laugh, and then looked at Bello Betty with interest. He was even given the status of an elder in the Kingdom of Illusion. Facing such a person, Namikaze Kirito doesn't hate it. Hearing Namikaze Kirito's inquiry, Bello Betty spat out a mouthful of eye circles and said loudly, I'm not a pig, and I'm full. You can talk now, I just listen. But he didn't know the name of the flower. Chapter 261. I want the origin of the world. Seeing the dragon's expression, Namikaze Kirito knew that the other party hadn't discovered the true background of the world government yet. Thinking about it, that's right. Although the dragon's revolutionary army is a headache for the world government, it is far from unstoppable. Let alone, as long as you find out where the headquarters of the revolutionary army is. There is no need to send out the whole army. It only needs to send people from the marine side to launch an attack when they are prepared. Needless to say, the revolutionary army will definitely be wiped out. Compared with Namikaze Kirito's force to suppress the world, it is not qualified enough. Where is the place between the flowers? Long's eyes are full of solemnity. This news is too important for their revolutionary army, and it is directly related to the way to fight against the world government in the future. The 5 old guys are just puppets put on the table by the people in that place. Namikaze Kirito said casually. What you are doing now, to that person, is nothing more than a small fight. You don't even understand who the real enemy is, and you call yourself a revolutionary army. If this goes on like this, if nothing else happens, you don't have the slightest chance of winning, but I can give you a hope. What hope? Don't you still have a son? Why don't you put your hope of changing the world on him? Luffy? Thinking of his own son, Luffy had a trace of nostalgia on his face. Since he was young, Luffy was thrown to Garp because he wanted to develop the revolutionary army. It can be said that the first meeting was when the father and son met in Rog Town. Later, as Luffy's reputation spread across the sea, Long's heart was also full of pride. Hearing Namikaze Kirito mention Luffy at this time, the smiling face of Luffy on the wanted notice reappeared in his mind. Luffy has his way and it's up to me to do it myself. Apparently, dragons have their own pride, and even though Namikaze Kirito said Luffy was his hope, he didn't want Luffy to be involved in this. I just mentioned it casually. How to do it is a matter for your family. Namikaze Kirito stretched his waist. You said you want to cooperate with me, so, what do you want to cooperate with? Advertisement, overthrow the world government, the dragon said solemnly. According to his thinking, since Namikaze Kirito understands the so-called Hana, he must be more confident than himself and others in fighting against the world government. Since the purpose is the same, why can't we cooperate? To overthrow the world government. It's a good idea, but what can you bring me? Huh? Bello Betty said with a displeased face at this moment. Isn't our purpose the same? Of course we will overthrow the world government together, and then we will be your assistants. Because of her nervousness, Bello and Betty quickly recovered from the shock among the flowers. If it was a different person, it probably wouldn't be like this. Thinking about it, I have struggled for many years, thinking that the world government can do nothing about them, and it is only a matter of time before this hypocritical rule is overthrown. Who would have thought that behind this, there is an unknown secret? Ha ha ha, Bello, Betty, I like your character very much, so I will forget about the offense this time. Namikaze Kirito let out a burst of laughter, and then his eyes became serious. Since you're looking for me to seek cooperation, of course you have to explain what you can bring me. If it's just to join forces with me, then I don't need it at all, because if I plan to overthrow the world government, you are completely dispensable to me. You. Bello Betty wanted to say something else, but Long stopped her directly. The incident of killing 2 marine marshals last time spread across the sea, and the dragon knew that what Namikaze Kirito said was right. He was able to kill 2 and seriously injure the other under the obstruction of the 5 top experts. Even if he was merciless, it is estimated that all 5 of them would be buried there. Such strength is indeed qualified to say such a thing. How about putting it another way, Mr. Kirito, what do you want? What would give you the opportunity to work with you? Oh. Namikaze Kirito glanced at the dragon unexpectedly. Garp's bloodline should be like Luffy's, completely without brains, but the appearance of the dragon subverted the world's cognition. Probably the smartest member of the monkey family is the guy in front of him. After all, without a brain, it is impossible to build such a revolutionary army in just 10 years. Advertisement. If you ask me what you can do to help me, I can only say, pay your lives. What do you mean? Hearing Namikaze Kirito said that they were going to die, the dragon didn't change the slightest expression, but asked aloud. The reason why I didn't enter the Holy Land directly last time is because I don't know what the background of the world government is, so if you want to cooperate with me, use your lives to test out their background. Leave the rest to me. Really? Thank you for your answer, Mr. Kirito. The dragon frowned slightly as if he was really thinking about the feasibility of this matter. You don't need to thank me, just treat it as your reward for paying the bill and inviting me to dinner. One more thing, I hope you can answer me, of course, you also have the right not to answer. Long Shensheng said, since you appeared, you have been targeting the world government. I don't know what your purpose is. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm targeting the world government, it's just that they hit my fist 890 themselves, and they just want to arrest me because I killed 3 pigs. Look, how are they? Unreasonable. Such unreasonable people even want to shoot me, how can I let them go? As for what I want should be the origin of this world, you may not understand. Namikaze Kirito is telling the truth, he really wants the origin of this world, which is to integrate the power of the world into his body. Sure enough, Long was a little puzzled, he really didn't understand such a conceptual thing as the origin of the world. However, this does not prevent him from listing Namikaze Kirito as a dangerous person. Look, I said they are unreasonable, I have a meal, and they want to monitor me. Long wanted to say something, but was taken aback by Namikaze Kirito's words. He turned his head and saw 4 or 5 people walking into the restaurant. There are old and young people dressed in common, it looks like a family comes to dine, there seems to be nothing strange. Just like the few people in common, Namikaze Kirito has been staring at them since they came in, with the corners of his mouth raised, and then stood up. As Namikaze Kirito got closer to the door, one of the kids looked at Namikaze Kirito curiously. It seemed to be wondering why the big brother in front of him approached them. Chapter 262 Namikaze Kirito is not tyrannical. Even Dragon and Bello Betty didn't see what Namikaze Kirito was going to do. I saw him squatting down slowly, looking at the child in front of him with a smile. Are you planning to come here to eat? Yeah, big brother, the food in this store is delicious, and I begged my parents for a long time before they were willing to bring me here. The child's eyes were full of innocence, and when it came to eating, he even licked his lips, as if he had been greedy for the things here for a long time. The parents on the side also looked at their children with doting eyes. That's right, the dishes in this restaurant are really delicious, but kid, aren't you afraid of bad guys? Bad guy. The child put his finger deep into his mouth, showing a puzzled expression. Yeah, the bad guy. Speaking of the wind, Kirito raised his finger and pointed to the dragon sitting not far away. Did you see that man? The face is scary, right? He is the bad guy. Ah. The child took a peek at the dragon, as if he was really frightened by the other's face with lines, and said cautiously, That uncle is indeed a bit of a villain. The parents on the side heard the child say this, and quickly hugged their child in their arms, and then the father kept bowing to the place where the dragon was. I'm sorry, sir, the child is not sensible, I'm really sorry. Long sat on the chair with black lines on his face, but he didn't wave his hands. It's okay. Ha 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 ha. Bang bang bang. Bello and Betty on the side laughed out loud with complete disregard for her image, she even burst into tears, and kept patting the table. Well, Betty, how long are you going to laugh? Boss, I can't do anything about it. Your face really looks like a bad guy. Look, it scares children. Saying that, Bello Betty ignored the dragon's admonition and continued to laugh. Long looked at Namikaze Kirito helplessly, he didn't know what the other party meant by this move. At this time, the child also looked at Namikaze Kirito. Big brother, that uncle said it's okay, it doesn't look like a bad guy. Well, you were right, in fact, I lied to you, the bad guy in this room is me. Advertisement. Looking at Namikaze Kirito who spoke with a straight face, the child's family couldn't help laughing. From the perspective of others, this is Namikaze Kirito teasing children. Oh, no, I'm dying of laughter, this guy, does he like children? Bello Betty said tremblingly, holding back the smile on the villainous face of her leader. It seems to be true. You can't believe everything in the newspaper. What's cruel is just a means used by the world government to discredit black people, Long said seriously. Before Namikaze Kirito appeared, he was known as the most vicious criminal in the world. But what he did was to help the people get rid of the tyrannical Wang Quan. In the countries where the Revolutionary Army went, it was not simply a way of brainwashing a group of civilians to fight against the kingdom. It's because they themselves are oppressed by the kingdom and can't breathe. After the arrival of the Revolutionary Army, it was only a little bit of leadership, and the civilians who were originally like loose sand would twist into one rope to fight against the corrupt royal family. If the king of that country is really good to his subjects, he has the support of his subjects. Not to mention the Revolutionary Army, even if you send troops from the world government, they will not betray their country. Just when Dragon and Bello Betty, including the store manager and staff of this store, watched Namikaze Kirito tease the warm side of the children. In the next second, everyone was so shocked that they almost sat on the ground. I saw that Namikaze Kirito was still smiling, but he suddenly exuded an aura. Boom! With a muffled sound, the children beside their parents turned into blood mist. This scene made the jaws of the onlookers drop, and the store manager and clerk hid directly behind the counter. Damn! The evil party is the evil party, this scumbag. Bello Betty kicked over the table and was about to go forward to teach Namikaze Kirito a lesson, but was stopped by the dragon. He knew that Bello Betty was not good at fighting, so if he rushed forward rashly, he would probably be killed by Namikaze Kirito. But he couldn't sit idly by in the face of this matter, only to see a sudden gust of wind around him, and then the whole person came to Namikaze's side in an instant. At this time, the child's family members seemed to be frightened by the sudden change, and stood there blankly without any reaction. Namikaze Kirito. There was a hint of killing intent in Long's tone. The reason why he established the Revolutionary Army was that he didn't want the world government to trample on human life at will, and Namikaze Kirito happened to violate his taboo. Advertisement. I saw the dragon's right hand turning into claws, and the dragon claws covered with armed dew directly attacked Namikaze Kirito's head. Hash. There was a chill in Namikaze Kirito's eyes, and he dodged back slightly, directly dodging the attacking fist, and then punched the dragon's abdomen suddenly. Vomit. At this moment, Long only felt that his internal organs were about to shatter. He retched, and then grabbed his stomach. You only have this one chance, Revolutionary Army. Next time, I don't mind disappearing your Revolutionary Army from this world. After saying this, Namikaze Kirito looked at the people in front of him again, with that charming smile still on his face. It seemed that he wasn't the one who killed the opponent's child, just now. What? How many? Do you still plan to pretend? Ah. The child's father seemed to react, let out a roar, and then rushed towards Namikaze Kirito. As expected of you guys, your acting skills are fairly high, but I don't need any evidence to kill someone. Boom. Facing the man rushing towards him, Namikaze Kirito just punched him casually. Not everyone has a constitution like Garp. This punch made the man follow in the footsteps of a child, turning him into a blood mist. You're making a move on Master Big Mom's territory. This is a declaration of war. Don't think she'll let you go. The child's mother pointed at Namikaze Kirito with a trembling hand, and said loudly, as if afraid that others would not hear. Oh Tilda, you want to put me and that old woman in a state of hostility? You are worthy of the lackey of the world government, but you may have misunderstood something. Boom. A powerful momentum appeared, directly causing an explosion at the entrance of the entire restaurant, and the few people in front of them were directly reduced to fly ash. I'm not even afraid of those 5 old men. How can I be afraid of an old woman? The dragon on the side also reacted at this time. So were those guys from the 5 elders just now? If it's Cypher Pole, sure, they can do it. Even if his identity is discovered and he faces death, a thorn will be left between Namikaze Kirito and Big Mom. Chapter 263. Charlotte Tuzmoji. What happened here? The members of the Big Mom Pirates received the notice of the trouble here as early as just now. The reason why it was so late was not because of insufficient action efficiency, but because Big Mom just took all the children away to discuss big things. The person who heard the trouble was Namikaze Kirito, and Big Mom directly asked Katakuri to handle the matter. Namikaze Kirito, Big Mom, the 2-4 emperors, whatever happens may directly lead to conflict. For the Big Mom Pirates, this matter is a hot potato, and it is just right for Katakuri to come. By the time Katakuri appeared, the dragon had put the hood back on his head. Since Namikaze Kirito said that the few people just now belong to the world government, that is to say, he has been exposed. All I have to do now is say a few more words to Namikaze Kirito, and leave Cake Island immediately. Otherwise, when the world government reacted, the dragon would not be sure that he would be able to run away with Bello Betty surrounded by several strong men. Mr. Kirito, what happened here? As soon as Katakuri came to the scene, he stood directly in front of Namikaze Kirito and asked respectfully. He completely ignored the shop owner who wanted to talk. It can be said that he is very smart. This kind of 413's impeccable way of doing things is only Katakuri can do in the Big Mom Pirates. This is one reason why Namikaze Kirito admires him. Nothing, just killed a few world government flies. Hearing this, Katakuri's pupils constricted. World government? Although I know about the tea party held by my mom, besides those invited, there will definitely be some flies coming here after smelling it. But unexpectedly those flies hit Namikaze Kirito's hand directly. As that's so, I apologize to you on behalf of our pirates, and to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again, my sister Smoothie will accompany you all the way. When it comes to Smoothie, this perfect man has a little hesitation. Katakuri, who values brothers and sisters, is very dissatisfied with the marriage, but he is not the helm of the Big Mom Pirates, so he can only let it go. Advertisement, but tell that old woman that the world government wants us to be hostile, and let her figure out how to do it. As soon as Namikaze Kirito's words came out, The spectators around quickly looked at the ADBD sky, saying that they didn't hear anything. Joke. Namikaze Kirito has no problem calling Big Mom, that's because of his identity. He is also one of the 4 emperors, and he is the strongest in the world, who dares to have an opinion. But the people watching the excitement don't have such strength. What if the popularity of the Big Mom pirates is not enough, and they want to kill these people directly to vent their anger? It's not worth it to watch the excitement and put your life in it. Katakuri also seemed to have not heard Namikaze Kirito's address, lowered his head and said in a deep voice. I will report this to Mom, please wait a little longer, Smoothie will be here soon. Afterwards, Katakuri greeted the people he had brought, and they all walked in the direction they had come. Namikaze Kirito also picked up a chair from the ground and sat down on his previous seat. Bello Betty looked at Namikaze Kirito with complicated eyes at this time. When she saw him attacking those people just now, she wanted to kill him. But it turns out that those people are lackeys of the world government. At this time, Bello and Betty felt guilty for misunderstanding Namikaze Kirito, and she also felt palpitations about the fierceness of Namikaze Kirito when he attacked. Seeing that the person in front of him didn't speak, Namikaze Kirito stretched out his hand and waved it in front of Bello Betty's eyes. What's wrong? Are you stupid? It's just killing a few people. As the commander of the Revolutionary Army, you won't be scared stupid. You're stupid. I'm afraid of this. Bello Betty lit a cigarette and said with disdain. Although she said so on her lips, only she knew what she was thinking in her heart. Ryu also took a chair and sat beside Namikaze Kirito, rubbing his abdomen with one hand. Namikaze Kirito's punch just now made him extremely painful. Mr. Kirito, please forgive my gaffe just now, but since you have already found out, why didn't you say it directly? Hearing this, Namikaze Kirito put his legs on the table casually. Dragon, I said that your Revolutionary Army will not have a second chance. First told Marine before. After that, they died 2 times. Marshal, do you understand what I mean? Advertisement, I understand. There was a wry smile on Long's face. He knew he was in the wrong, so he shot Namikaze Kirito without asking any questions. Who would have thought that people from the world government would come so quickly, and even show up directly instead of observing in the dark? This also proves how anxious the world government is about the Revolutionary Army's contact with Namikaze Kirito. It also strengthened Long's idea of wanting to cooperate with Namikaze Kirito. I'm sorry about the matter just now. As for what you said before, use my life to test the world government. If that day comes, I will. So I hope Mr. Kirito you can agree to cooperate with us. Boss. Hearing that Long wanted to test the world government with his own life, Bello Betty hurriedly wanted to say something. But Long raised his hand, indicating that he had made up his mind. Looking at the serious eyes of the dragon, Namikaze Kirito said softly, don't worry, even if you are tempted, you may not die. Even if you die, I can bring you back to life. Yes, thank you so much. After Long finished speaking, he stood up directly and left here with Bello Betty. There is no need to say anything about the details of the cooperation itself, as long as the wishes of both parties are confirmed. Since the world government has discovered that Namikaze Kirito is in contact with the Revolutionary Army, then it won't be long before the 5 people can't stand it anymore. After Long took Bello and Betty away, not long after, Smoothie with long legs came over. There was a hint of complexity in her beautiful eyes. Just now Big Mom told her again that she must be with Namikaze Kirito. This order is absolute, and even Big Mom said that if she didn't handle this matter well, most of her lifespan would be taken away. As long as a woman can't bear the appearance of her old age, Smoothie is no exception. When he came to the restaurant and saw the ruins, Smoothie was not surprised. Katakuri had told her about it before. He walked straight to Namikaze Kirito, and said softly, Mr. Kirito, I apologize to you for what happened before, and I will guide you later, I hope you don't mind. Of course not, who can refuse a beautiful woman to accompany you? Let's go, show me where I live. Okay. Charlotte Tuzmoji hid that trace of resentment deeply in her heart. Chapter 264 The First Gun Mount. This is it, Mr. Kirito. Led by Smoothie, Namikaze Kirito came to a luxurious hotel. Of course, this place is also made of dim sum, but it should be the most luxurious hotel on Cake Island, not one of them. It can be seen that Big Mom really took care of this matter, and even cleared out other residents, fearing that Namikaze Kirito might not be used to living there. After the two entered the room, Namikaze Kirito asked me to make a chair made of jelly. The soft and smooth jelly relieves fatigue like a massage chair. Even if he doesn't like Big Mom, Namikaze Kirito has to admit that this guy really enjoys life. There are so many wonderful things that can be made with dim sum. Mr. Kirito, do you have any other orders? Smoothie lowered his head and said respectfully. Keep your head up, Smoothie. The words of Namikaze Kirito shocked Smoothie. The reason why she lowered her head was because she was worried that she would not be able to control herself and would show that trace of resentment. Now that the other party said so, could it be that they discovered something? But there is no time to think about it, Namikaze Kirito has already said so, if she lowers her head again, it will inevitably annoy him. Thinking of this, Smoothie hurriedly collected his emotions, and then raised his head. Seeing the forced smile on Smoothie's face, Namikaze Kirito almost laughed out loud. No way, this scene is simply too funny. Smoothie, do you have a grudge against me? Hearing this, Smoothie's delicate body trembled slightly, and then he said calmly, how is it possible? Mr. Kirito is Mom's honored guest, or my future husband. Husband, how could I treat you any resentment? Smoothie was obviously not used to saying the word husband. Really? Is it true that the old woman said you admired me? Advertisement. Namikaze Kirito called the old woman, obviously showing no respect for Big Mom. Smoothie couldn't help gritting his teeth. But thinking of what Big Mom said to do whatever it takes to have a good relationship with Namikaze Kirito, he suppressed his anger forcibly. Of course it's true, I admire you very much, that's why I told Mom about it. It's my dream to be your wife. Smoothie resisted the urge to kill and said these words. What admiration for you, if I can't beat you, I would have twisted you into juice. 4 emperors, the juice produced should be very nutritious. Thinking of this, Smoothie unconsciously stretched out his tongue and licked his red lips, but immediately reacted and lowered his head again. You admire me, that's really good. While talking, Namikaze Kirito stood up from the jelly sofa, walked straight to the luxurious big bed in the house, and then lay down. If I enjoy the power of my husband in advance, you shouldn't refuse? As soon as these words were uttered, a gust of wind blew through the room, and a powerful aura emerged from Charlotte Tesmoji's body, blowing the decorations in the room to make a majestic sound. It seems that you don't like it very much. Namikaze Kirito turned sideways, looking at Smoothie who was about to lose his patience with interest. Hearing Namikaze Kirito's voice, Smoothie woke up from the rage, then cursed himself secretly, and quickly made a sincere and fearful expression. Sorry, Mr. Kirito, I just thought about some things we haven't handled well, so I accidentally brought emotions and did. I'm really sorry. It's okay. Namikaze Kirito waved his hand, and then continued to force the other party. Then what are you waiting for? Aren't you here to fulfill your wife's obligations? In other words, you Big Mom pirates are just lying to me. Any admiration is fake. When it came to the end, Namikaze Kirito narrowed her eyes slightly, and the hairs all over Smoothie stood upright, as if she was facing a villain who killed countless people. Those long legs trembled a little. I have to say, even in the face of Big Mom, she doesn't have such pressure. Is the gold content of the world's #1 actually so high? If you don't experience it yourself, it's hard to describe what she's facing. Namikaze Kirito is not forcing Smoothie because he is very anxious about this kind of thing. Smoothie is the #1 gun mount in the pirate world. But he does not lack women, not to mention the Hokage world. In this world alone, he has the most beautiful woman in the world, Boa Hancock, and the charming royal sister, Ba Carla. Advertisement. How could he be so anxious about Smoothie? The only reason is to see how much the other party can endure. 0. Ask for flowers. Namikaze Kirito will be happy if he tears his face apart, and he can directly find a reason to turn the world into his territory. She can feel the anger of Namikaze Kirito. Smoothie is nearly 5 meters tall, and her long legs are more than 3 meters long. Otherwise, the title of the first gun mount would not have fallen on her. Then he teased and said with a smile, of course, I also understand your thoughts. It's okay to wait until the wedding day, but you have to use something else to replace the loss. If there is no solution to this matter, the other party will inevitably have a gap in his mother's heart, and it will be too difficult to make up for it at that time. While talking, Smoothie put on a coy look on purpose, although she wished to strip Namikaze Kirito to death in her heart, but now she absolutely can't show it. Katakuri is one, and Smoothie is a good choice. This is not to say that Namikaze Kirito needs any righteousness to attack Big Mom. He himself does what he wants. He didn't care about the opinions of people in the world at all. He even contributed to his own daughter. In this case, if Namikaze Kirito made a move for no reason, it would make him a little awkward. Even if you want to, you are powerless. Mr. Kirito, we haven't held a wedding yet. Please forgive me. I have some. But Namikaze Kirito obviously underestimated the shadow that Big Mom left for her children, and Smoothie bit her lower lip tightly, her brain spinning rapidly. Otherwise, all previous efforts will be in vain. It's no wonder that Big Mom can let her go. So no matter what, you need a reason to be able to completely tear your face. After all, Namikaze Kirito set his sights on Smoothie's long legs. Anyway, that old woman is also preparing for our wedding, right? So it's settled that you are my wife now. Looking at the pair of legs taller than him in front of him, Namikaze Kirito suddenly had a thought in his mind. But in this situation, it is impossible for her to directly involve herself in it. The main reason is that she has been fighting for so many years, and she is completely a noob when it comes to this kind of thing. But he didn't want to slap the smiling face. Since he landed on this island, Big Mom really didn't have a problem with his hospitality. Chapter 265. Stracy's Undying Heart. Any other alternative? Hearing Namikaze Kirito's words, Smoothie was a little dazed. She didn't even understand what she said before, let alone any other methods. Come here. Namikaze Kirito's tone didn't mean to order, but Smoothie still walked forward blankly. She seemed to have been completely lost, and instinctively listened to Namikaze Kirito's words, and came to the bed made of snacks. Sitting on the edge of the bed, staring straight at the wall, wondering what he was thinking about. Even Namikaze Kirito couldn't help sighing from the bottom of his heart when watching it up close. Smoothie does have a unique charm, not to mention her beautiful face, and her weapon is stronger than Boa Hancock. Just talking about her height is the day that most attracts men. Fortunately, this room took other races into consideration, so the 880 is a bed made of pastries, and it is also close to 10 meters in length and width. Smoothie, who was nearly 5 meters tall, sat on it and looked out of place. What are you thinking? Hearing Namikaze Kirito's words, Smoothie came back to his senses and said softly. Kiri. Mr. Kirito, I'm so happy, so I'm a little overwhelmed. So happy? Believe in your ghost. I have to say that since coming to this island, Namikaze Kirito has deeply realized what acting is. Everyone seems to be obsessed with acting, disguising their true thoughts, whether it's Big Mom, Stacy, or Katakuri, including Smooth in front of him. Thinking about it again, it seems that their acting has a direct relationship with Namikaze Kirito. Stretch out your hand on the jade leg, which is close to 3 meters. The starting point is delicate and tender, but there is no rough feeling after long-term exercise. I have to say that because the captain of the Big Mom Pirates loves to eat, the ingredients collected from all over the world, including snacks, are very nutritious. As long as the lifespan is not taken away by Big Mom, everyone's constitution and skin are well maintained. Feeling Namikaze Kirito's touch, Smoothie shuddered slightly, but managed to hold back immediately. Even if she has the urge to tear the other party apart, she must not show it. Advertisement, that's it. It made Namikaze Kirito even more presumptuous. Mr. Kirito, didn't you agree to wait until the wedding? Feeling Namikaze Kirito's hot body, Smoothie spoke with difficulty. Of course, but I also said, you have to use other methods. What way? Take off your shoes. Hearing Namikaze Kirito's words, Smoothie gritted his teeth, but followed the order and took off his boots. A pair of soft jade feet were displayed in front of Namikaze Kirito. With feet, Smoothie's long legs of about 3 meters began to move awkwardly on the bed. Stacy was talking to a group of people in a shop on Cake Island, where the world government cipher pole is based. As Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors, they can only rest assured if they keep watching. However, there are indeed a few fewer people who came to this rally today. Everyone present understood what was going on, and the atmosphere in the entire room seemed a little heavy. Andrew, as I said, don't let them die in vain. Every member of CPO is an excellent spy. You're letting them jump into the fire pit. Stacy's tone was full of coldness, completely different from the coquettish look at the Bigman Tea Party before. The man named Andrew let Stacy finish speaking, and then fixed his eyes on Stacy. Master 5 Elders said that you should contact Namikaze Kirito for information, didn't you fail? He has already disarmed the Revolutionary Army, even Monkey D. Dragon. Do you know what this means? If the two of them join forces, it will pose a serious threat to our world government. Your mission has not been completed. I can only send someone to find out information, otherwise, do we still deserve to be called Cipher Pole? When he said this, Andrew's face was full of ferocity. The hatred for Namikaze Kirito in his heart has reached the extreme now. Not only was he reprimanded by the 5 elders, but even Stacy, who was at the same level, said it to his face, which was simply a shame. As for the members who died, he didn't seem to care that much. It's just a CP0 member of the common, and he's not an elite. He'll die when he dies, but the hurtful thing about him losing face is unbearable for him. Advertisement seeing his face, Stacy certainly knew why he was angry. Both of them belonged to CP0 agents, but they knew each other very well. It was because of this that Stacy hated each other more and more. You don't need to worry about Namikaze Kirito, I will do it myself later. Are you going to make a move? Andrew's eyes slowly showed disdain. Do people think of you? At the tea party before, I just put your face on the ground and rubbed it. Nowadays, you still have the face to say that you made a move. If it wasn't because of your mission failure, you wouldn't need me to send. Boom. Before Andrew could finish speaking, Stacy punched him directly in the face with such force that he smashed several tables. Although such an attack was of little use to him with a tyrannical physique, Andrew's eyes were also red. Stacy humiliated him in public again. You ****ch. Are you looking for death? Just when Andrew was bulging all over his muscles and was about to teach Stacy a tough lesson, a low voice suddenly came from the phone bug on the table. Andrew. Hearing this familiar voice, all the people in the room stood up and lowered their bodies respectfully. Master 5 Elders. As if feeling the respect of everyone, the phone bug pondered for a moment, and then continued to make voices. 4.0. Andrew, leave the matter of Namikaze Kirito to Stacy. You should be responsible for cooperating. If you don't do well in this matter, you should know what will happen next. Yes, Lord 5 Elders. When Andrew said this, his heart was full of unwillingness, but when he heard that he would end badly if he didn't manage well, his whole body was covered in cold sweat. As Cipher Pole personnel, they have experienced the most severe training. Even if they are tortured by the enemy, they will never leak information. Such a person, when they hear what will happen to them, will break into a cold sweat in fear, which shows how serious the punishment is. It is also reasonable to think about it, since you can be trained to make you invulnerable to all poisons. Of course there are means to subdue you. Otherwise, if he betrayed, wouldn't he create a troublesome enemy for himself? Chapter 266. Has the concubine not held a wedding yet? Not to mention that Stacy intends to continue to deal with Namikaze Kirito. The fact that Namikaze Kirito is going to marry Big Mom's daughter has also caused quite a stir in the world. Big Mom's tea party invited so many people, and there were also bigwigs from newspapers and news circles. So when Namikaze Kirito agreed to the marriage, these bigwigs had already asked their subordinates to sort out the news, and now it has spread throughout the sea. Wano-kuni, Kaido also saw the news. It has to be said that for someone like him who can use his fists but not his brain, this matter doesn't matter at all. Even though Namikaze Kirito has shown his crushing strength, isn't he determined to give it a try? It can be said that Jack, one of the 3 disasters, is the one most similar to Kaido. In the original book, even in the face of Sengoku and Fujitora, the 2 top combat forces, he dared to let his men approach the boat. Even when his subordinates were scared, he said something. Who do you think I am? Who are you, 03? You are an iron boy. Who else can you be? As expected, you were directly beaten and seriously injured. If you were not lucky, prison. That old woman, trying to curry favor with that brat. HMPH, you really lost face, Lin Lin. Kaido breathed out a dragon's breath, and turned the newspaper in his hand into ashes. Boss Kaido, we still have to be careful about this matter. First, the redhead decided to join forces with us to target Namikaze Kirito, and he agreed to marry Big Mom in a blink of an eye. This incident is definitely not a coincidence. Quinn, one of the three disasters, calmly of analysis. I don't know what that old woman is planning, but no matter who it is, as long as they come to this country, labor and capital will directly let them come and go. After all, he took a sip of wine into his mouth suddenly. Quinn looked at his captain speechlessly. There was nothing to say about his captain's strength and ambitions, except for his fanciful self-confidence. But also, if Kaido didn't have such a personality, he and others might not follow him. In a corner not far away, Kaido's daughter Yamato was quietly listening to the conversation between the two, saying it was quietly, but in fact it was entirely because Kaido and Quinn didn't care. After all, Yamato was locked on this island by Kaido, and these words are not confidential, there is nothing that cannot be heard. Advertisement, as everyone knows, when the two mentioned Namikaze Kirito, Yamato's eyes lit up. Although Wanakuna's news was blocked, the beast's pirates were not among them. Dai Kazuya understands how shocking Namikaze Kirito has brought to the world during this time. I was also thinking in my heart, if it was that man, he should be able to liberate this country, right? Unlike the children of Big Mom, the woman of Kaido weighs more than 100 pounds, and has grown a 99-pound rebellious bone. All she thinks about every day is how to defeat her father. Still thinks he's that Odin. Her mission as Odin is to end the Kaido's rule and liberate all of Wano Kuni. At the same time, in a mysterious sea area, if anyone comes here, they will be able to see the Red Force, which is the pirate ship of the Red Hair Pirates, which has disappeared from the eyes of the world. On the deck, Beckman and Shanks read today's newspaper with serious faces. It clearly stated that Namikaze Kirito, the strongest man in the world, agreed to the marriage request of the Big Mom pirates. The wedding will be held with Charlotte Tesmoji, one of the 3 stars of its desserts in the near future. Beckman, do you think our actions were noticed by Namikaze Kirito? The red-haired Shanks looked at the newspaper. The names of Namikaze Kirito and Big Mom were extremely dazzling. Shanks, Namikaze Kirito has so many weird abilities, even the world government is frequently defeated by him, not to mention the addition of Doflamingo and Golden City. It's not surprising to know my movements, but I don't think this move is against us. Huh? The red-haired Shanks looked at Beckman suspiciously. Why do you say that? You should know that since Namikaze Kirito appeared in our field of vision, he has always crushed everything with his invincible ability. There was a trace of helplessness and self-deprecation in Beckman's tone. Although I don't want to admit it, I don't think our actions are worthy of his response. Finding someone to join forces? It's definitely not his character. He should be waiting for us to make a move with great interest right now. Ha 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 ha, that's true. The red-haired Shanks scratched his head nervously. After laughing, his face became serious again. You're right, he is indeed such a man. It's really scary. Who would have thought that the power of a single person can compete with the world? How could such an unstable factor appear in this world? Who knows? Advertisement: the top floor of the Golden King Hotel. Because the news of Rocks was hidden in a timely manner, few people knew about it except for a few insiders. Know what's going on? Crackling. This is not known how many times the room decoration has been smashed. It's just that the news says that Big Mom is going to hold a wedding for Namikaze Kirito and Smoothie. Tezzolo has always wanted Namikaze Kirito to help him realize his wish. The Golden City hasn't stopped in the past 2 days. Ever since Boa Hancock saw the newspaper, he almost asked someone to call the Big Mom pirates. She doesn't care about Namikaze Kirito looking for a woman. Even Barbara Carla accepts it. What else can't be accepted by her love brain? One Piece. Boa Hancock is completely enveloped by great jealousy. The 4 Emperors pirates teamed up with the world government to deal with another 4 Emperors. No matter how you think about it, they will not have a good reputation. Orders will of course be obeyed. Beckman also exhaled a mouthful of smoke rings, as if he wanted to exhale the trace of worry in his heart. If it weren't for Bar Carla and Nico Robin's efforts to stop them, it is estimated that Tezzolo and others could only obey orders. However, even if Beckman has a super high IQ, he will obey the orders of the red-haired Shanks in this kind of matter, who made him the captain of his own family. Even if the plan is successful, it is estimated that his reputation will be completely stink. This time, the red-haired Shanks decided to fight against Namikaze Kirito just like D. Roger did against Rocks before, allied with the world government, including various forces. Wedding? Wedding? I haven't held a wedding with my husband yet. How dare you, an old woman, do this? No way. When Namikaze Kirito left, he told Tezzolo that Boa Hancock was his woman, that is to say, she had command authority. Chapter 267, reaching a consensus. Boa Hancock's pretty face was blushing at this time, not because she was shy compared to Namikaze Kirito, but because she was angry. She has thought countless times about what she and Namikaze Kirito will look like when they enter the marriage hall in the future, even thinking about the style of the wedding dress. In the end, I haven't achieved a positive result yet, so there is such a sneaky cat who wants to marry Namikaze Kirito in advance. No, personally disagree, absolutely will not agree. Boa Hancock's murder weapon was constantly surging with anger. If Big Mom was here, don't worry, she would definitely go up and hit a big perfume femur, and she couldn't take care of herself if she kicked directly. Of course, that's just what she thinks, though she's strong, has Conqueror's Haki, and has been enhanced by Namikaze Kirito. But Big Mom is the top powerhouse in this world after all. The name of 4 Emperors is not for nothing, and the current Boa Hancock is definitely not the other party's opponent. But this does not affect Boa Hancock's desire to fight her desperately. Please calm down, DTN people. Barbara Carla stepped forward directly, her mature and charming face was full of anxiety. Now there is no news from Mr. Kirito, we can't act rashly here. What news? What if your own husband is threatened by that old woman? No, your husband is so powerful, it's because they don't have the ability. I just said my conjecture, but it was broken in a blink of an eye. The image Namikaze Kirito showed to the world was too invincible, and no one believed that such a person would be threatened by others. That's right, Sir Kirito is so strong, how could he be threatened by others? This must be his plan, you can't be impulsive. Hearing what Carla said, Boa Hancock calmed down a little. If, as she said, she brought someone to kill her and affected her husband's plan, then it would be troublesome. After reading this, Boa Hancock said coldly, let people always pay attention to the news from Wangguo. If your husband has any plans, tell me immediately. If your husband plans to attack Wangguo, I will be the first to go to battle. Seeing that Boa Hancock calmed down, Ba Carla at the side was relieved. Now Tezzolo is only thinking about resurrecting Stella, and he is no longer the previous boss. Let alone Namikaze Kirito's orders, even Boa Hancock's orders will be carried out regardless of the consequences. After all, Namikaze Kirito said when he left that Boa Hancock can make decisions on his behalf. Advertisement: if the Golden City is really allowed to attack the nations, the neutral entertainment city will completely make people lose confidence in it, and it will affect Namikaze Kirito's plan, which is even more unforgivable. Bara Carla is very smart about this. On the other side, Wangguo, at this time Charlotte Tesmoji walked out of Namikaze Kirito in a daze. For half a day, she suffered a great humiliation, and when she thought of the things on her jade-like feet, she felt uncomfortable and disgusted. Namikaze Kirito, this shame, I will keep you from coming back. Smoothie clenched his white teeth, his face full of resentment. Just then, a familiar figure appeared in front of her. Gold's short hair, delicate cheeks, and a devilish figure, who else is Stracy? Yo, Smoothie, just got out of Namikaze Kirito. Don't know how it feels? Shut up. Smoothie clenched his fists as if his hair had been blown, and a strong aura appeared all over his body. Facing such hostility, Stracy didn't have any dissatisfaction, she still had a smile on her pretty face. It seems that Smoothie Sauce, you are also very dissatisfied with this marriage, Tilda. Stracy, don't think that you can be so presumptuous in front of me because you are Mom's friend. I'm not Mom, I won't be fooled by you. Smoothie's eyes were full of aldehydes. Originally, she was resentful because of Namikaze Kirito, but Stracy's appearance seemed to give her an outlet. If the woman in front of her couldn't say anything good, she wouldn't mind twisting it into juice. Hee hee hee. Stracy let out a burst of laughter like silver bells. You are obviously dissatisfied with Namikaze Kirito. Why didn't you say it out? Does your mom scare you so much? Or say, you really admire Namikaze Kirito. I said it. Shut up. Smoothie was directly provoked by Stracy's few words, rushed forward, and threw a punch directly. But Stracy of Grandmaster Marine 6 styles, how could she easily win, and Smoothie was very restless right now. The fist that was swung out directly hit the wall beside him. Advertisement with a bang, the wall shattered. The people inside were panicked, but when they saw that it was Smoothie, they immediately fled in all directions. On this island and even the entire sea area, the members of the Big Mom Pirates have a complete dominance. Don't get angry. We have a common purpose. After thinking for a moment, Smoothie reluctantly walked towards her, and also stretched out her hand. It's just that both of them have their own calculations in their hearts. One big and one small held hands together, reaching a consensus at this moment. Throwing out a punch, the depression in his heart was slightly reduced. Smoothie looked at Stracy calmly and asked. During the tea party, I said it, there is no way. The charm of Namikaze Kirito is too great. You don't like him, but I like him very much. Besides, as long as our goals are the same, there's cooperation chance, isn't it? What's in it for you? Smoothie asked vigilantly instead of being dazzled by the other party's cake. And Stracy is the same. Now it is impossible to destroy this marriage from Big Mom. Namikaze Kirito is even more sensitive. In the restaurant, those CP0 agents were clearly well hidden, but they were still given by the other party found. But there was still a slight killing intent leaked out. But it just so happened that if I wanted to get rid of this marriage, it would be nice to have someone who could stop it on the surface. At least one thing she said was right, that is, the two had a common purpose. What exactly are you trying to say? Well hidden though. Is this right? As I said, we have a common purpose, which is to destroy this marriage. Stracy, standing behind Smoothie, spoke softly. Stracy even had the feeling that she herself had been exposed. Smoothie is one of the 3 stars of desserts, who can't think about it and dare to ask her for an explanation. After all, Stracy directly stretched out her always soft and boneless hand, as if she was taking the initiative to show her favor. Smoothie was no fool. She could tell that Stracy wanted to ruin the marriage not because of any love, because when she mentioned the name Namikaze Kirito. Chapter 268 Preliminary Plan. However, in order to complete the task assigned by the 5 elders, Stracy must complete it even if her life is in danger. No way, she has been lurking outside for too long, so long that sometimes she thinks that she is the queen of the underground world Happy Street, not an agent of CP0. I have acted in the drama for half my life, but now I am too deeply involved in the drama. If this task can be completed, 5 elders promised her to correct her identity and become the manager of the CP0 agent. So she has put in everything, otherwise she would not have come to Scargus to discuss cooperation. She wants to win so badly. As one of the 3 stars of dessert, Smoothie, it doesn't have to be too easy to find a secret place on the island where you can chat. Under her guidance, the 2 women who could fascinate all sentient beings soon came to a secluded room, which was Smoothie's own house. After opening the door, you can see that although she is close to 5 meters tall and fights and kills on weekdays, she is a bit like a big mom who has lost her memory, full of childlike innocence, the dolls that can be seen everywhere in the layout of pink, which makes history Tracy has a girlish heart. I really can't see, Smoothie, you still have such. Swish. Before Tracy could finish speaking, a blade of light cut off a strand of blonde hair. Facing such an attack, Tracy had no intention of dodging at all. 467 Since Smoothie has already asked her to come here, she certainly doesn't mean to turn her back. She doesn't want to complete the marriage with Namikaze Kirito. This matter alone can make Tracy, who is good at manipulating people's hearts, completely control her. You'd better shut up, I don't have any trust in you right now, if you make me angry, I'll just keep you here. Smoothie's beautiful eyes were icy cold. Tracy also looked at each other with those charming eyes. Time passed by every minute and every second, and the 2 beauties faced each other like this. Finally, Tracy raised her hands first. Hey, I'm convinced. Okay, let's talk about business. Hearing this, Smoothie also put the knife back into its sheath. Advertisement. The 2 sat at a table, and Smoothie took out a cup for Tracy and poured a cup of hot juice. 3Q, Smoothie tilde, tell me, what are you going to do? Hearing Smoothie's questioning, Tracy first took a sip of the juice elegantly, and then said softly, the biggest reason for you to hold a wedding now is Linlin, if we. You want to shoot Mom? A strong killing intent appeared on Smoothie again. Although she wanted to destroy the marriage, she never thought of betraying her mom. What's more, they don't have the courage, Big Mom's means, these children have deeply understood, otherwise Smoothie would not be able to compromise. Calm down, Linlin is my good friend, how could I attack her? Tracy said to calm down Smoothie, and then continued. I mean, Linlin is the biggest resistance, so we have to find a way to let her give up this marriage, so the problem will be solved. HMPH, it's easy to say. Smoothie's tone was full of disdain. If she could really make Big Mom dispel this idea, she wouldn't have to wait until now. Mom attaches the most importance to this matter now, even the preparations for the wedding have already started on the island, how could you make her give up on this idea? Then what if it's Linlin's craving disorder? Hearing this, Smoothie was stunned. It's no secret that Big Mom has food cravings. People on the island basically know that if they suffer from food cravings, they don't get the dessert they want. Then she will completely fall into madness. In this state, the Big Mom will completely destroy everything she can see. Even her own children would be attacked by her. More than that, the Big Mom who fell into a state of madness completely gave up defense and would only attack with all his strength. It's like a time bomb, it's hard to tell when it will explode. So in order to stop the destruction of Big Mom, ADBJ, her children have worked hard. The warehouse on the island stores dim sum from all over the world, in case Big Mom wants to eat it when he goes crazy, but can't eat it. Smoothie also understands Tracy's plan. It is nothing more than trying to make Big Mom suffer from cravings, and then conflict with Namikaze Kirito, so that when the battle is over, no matter what, the marriage plan of the 2 families will definitely be cancelled. Advertisement. But there are 2 problems in this. The first is that once Big Mom suffers from food cravings, he will deny his relatives. Although he will attack Namikaze Kirito, his own children will not be able to escape that help. This is equivalent to betting on the younger sister of one's siblings. How could Smoothie accept it? The second point is more important, that is, with Namikaze Kirito's current strength, isn't the title of world's strongest a fake? What if a Big Mom who suffers from cravings cannot beat Namikaze Kirito? And this probability is very high. Under the attack of Namikaze Kirito, if something happens to Big Mom, the entire pirate group will be in crisis. Don't you see, since Whitebeard's death, although the Whitebeard pirates are led by Ace and Marco, they are not so easy to mix in New World. Every day is busy going to various sites to fight the attacking pirates. Do you want me to betray my family? Smoothie's tone became more and more cold and indifferent. If she and Tracy hadn't shared the same goal, she probably would have made a move by this time. How is it possible? When Linlin's food craving occurs, we just need to prepare her favorite dessert in advance, not to mention. Shut up. You know Namikaze Kirito's current combat power, but you still want Mom to attack him? What if Mom is in danger? Who are you? Hearing Smoothie's question, Tracy no longer had the cynical look before, and her expression turned cold. That's right, that's what she thinks. If Big Mom and Namikaze Kirito can fight, no matter which side dies, it will be reaping benefits for the world government. Even if both of them are fine, this marriage will definitely not go on. It has to be said that Tracy's IQ is very sufficient, and the method she came up with is a sure win for the world government. It's just that Smoothie in front of him is not easy to fool. She also thought about doing this by herself, but the warehouse on the island was heavily guarded, and only a part of the Charlotte family was eligible to enter. So this matter must cooperate with Smoothie. Don't you want to get out of Linlin's control? I know that your life under her is not good. Tracy, now I have doubts about your identity more and more. You are definitely not as simple as the queen of the pleasure district. Chapter 269 Cleaning up the dim sum warehouse. Hearing this, Tracy was startled, but years of disguise made it impossible for her to show her true emotions so easily. Seeing that she still had that indifferent look, she said softly, "Who do you think I am?" "I don't know." Smoothie shook his head, "But if you think that you can use the marriage to manipulate me, you are very wrong." "Really?" Stracey's tone was meaningful. Is a person manipulated by his own mom afraid of being manipulated by others? Besides, I'm just giving you a choice. What choice? Take control of yourself, the choice of fate. Hearing this, Smoothie fell into deep thought. If you think about it carefully, they are the four emperors group that dominates the sea in the New World. What's more, unlike other groups, they are all family members. Isn't family the most reliable relationship? In fact, it is not. There is no family in the eyes of Big Mom. Children are just props used to realize their ambitions. Even in the state of eating disorder, killing his own children, Big Mom does not have the slightest guilt. Let alone sad. Once there are disobedient children, the end result is to be drawn lifespan. Therefore, Smoothie aspired to become a strong man since he was a child, not to serve Big Mom better, but to control his own destiny. In fact, she was thinking too much, so what if she became a 3-star general? It's not just a prop in the eyes of my mom. When it's time to discard it, you can discard it without hesitation. For this matter, not only her, but even Katakuri and Big Mom argued, so what happened? No, it's still the same. The reason why Smoothie hasn't done anything to Stracey yet is because she sees a possibility. Since you are ignoring family affection, why should I care? Even if we leave the Big Mom pirates, the world is so big, where can we not go? Of course, the premise is that Namikaze Minato will completely defeat Big Mom, or even kill him. At the same time, Smoothie is sure that she is not the only one who wants to see Big Mom fall. All the children are shrouded in the powerful shadow of Big Mom. If they are asked to resist, they will definitely not dare, but if the result is presented directly in front of them. Advertisement, that's different. Stracey waited quietly for Smoothie to think, without urging her. However, she was already quite sure about this matter in her heart. In order to get close to Big Mom, she didn't pay much for so many years. It turned out to be a success, and she became Big Mom's best friend. Can call each other's names, and even talk about some excessive words. Just like in the original book, the members of the group of CP9 lived directly in the capital of Seven Waters for so many years for a mission. He became one with the people around him and completely integrated into his disguised identity. Stracey is different from them because she has been in this industry for too long. She has long been bored, and has to live with a mask every day. For a long time, she was on the verge of schizophrenia. Now I see a glimmer of hope. How can I not seize it? Similarly, Smoothie, who has a similar mental journey, will definitely win her cooperation request. After a long time, Smoothie finally raised her head. The difference is that this time her eyes are full of firmness. Seeing this scene, the corners of Stracey's mouth twitched, and a charming smile appeared on her face again. Happy cooperation tilde smoothie sauce. Ah, I'll take care of the warehouse. As for Mom's cravings, you'll be in charge. Of course. Stracey nodded gracefully. In this room, the two directly reached a plan for the four emperors. A hidden place in Cake Island. There are no fancy buildings here, just a few giant warehouses. Here are the snacks and ingredients that the Big Mom pirates reserve in order to control Big Mom's cravings. In order to keep it fresh, a batch will be replaced in a few days. At the same time, heavy troops were sent to guard. Except for a few cadres, no one else was allowed to approach. It can be seen how Big Mom's cravings have had on this pirate group. While the guards were guarding the gate with serious faces, a beautiful woman with a height of nearly 5 meters appeared in front of them. However, there is no greed in the eyes of these people, but only infinite respect and fear. Master Smoothie. Advertisement. It was Smoothie who came, and after discussing the cooperation with Stracey, she couldn't wait to come to the dim sum warehouse. 0. Asking for flowers. The matter should be resolved as soon as possible, otherwise, if you destroy it when it is close to the critical moment, it will easily arouse the vigilance of others. Seeing the guard saying hello, Smoothie nodded in response, and then planned to go straight into the dim sum warehouse. Master Smoothie, the new snacks haven't been delivered yet. I don't know what you are. Just as he was about to ask Smoothie why he came here, the guard saw Smoothie's cold gaze, couldn't help shivering, and hurriedly saluted. You've worked hard. You shouldn't ask, so don't ask. Smoothie usually gives everyone the impression that it is extremely terrifying, grabbing a living person in his hand and twisting it, just like twisting fruit, twisting out the juice. Leaving aside the taste of the juice, let's just say that the twisted person lost moisture from his whole body and fell to the ground like a rag. Because of the cruel methods, when these guards see Smoothie, a trace of fear will emerge in their hearts. How dare you continue to ask? Smoothie successfully entered the first warehouse. Looking around, there are all rare ingredients and snacks in the world. It is estimated that Luffy will live here immediately when he comes. For foodies, this place is simply heaven. When Smoothie came in, she took out a bottle of liquid from her bosom, something Stracey had given her. It only takes one drop to corrode all the nearby items, and doing so will not attract attention. Open the bottle cap casually, and drop a few drops directly on the place where the snacks are the most full. Within a few seconds, the snacks all began to melt, and the ground was corroded by the liquid to form a big pit. But the strange thing is that despite having such a strong corrosive ability, there is no dust and smoke rising, and the snacks and ingredients just disappear so silently. Smoothie didn't dare to waste time. The longer it took, the easier it would be for people to find out, so he quickly followed the same pattern and began to corrode other snack ingredients. Soon, the first warehouse, except for a few large pits on the ground, there was nothing left. Seeing that things were done, Smoothie went to the second warehouse, just when she thought things were going well. A familiar voice sounded behind her. What are you doing, Smoothie? The frightened Smoothie turned her head quickly, and put her jade hand on the handle of the knife. She was ready to kill and silence her. Chapter 270. What a coincidence as a result, as soon as she turned her head, she saw a face that made her despair. Red's hair, piercing eyes, and the scarf that covered half of his face. Isn't this Katakuri who is called the perfect man? As one of the 3 stars of desserts, coupled with the daily relationship, Smoothie knows her big brother very well. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is the most powerful under Big Mom. She has absolutely no chance of defeating her opponent, let alone killing her. Besides, Katakuri is also a big brother who makes their children feel warm on weekdays. Every time there is a major event in the family, he takes the initiative to solve it, even when Big Mom wants to punish the children. It was also him who dealt with it. It can be said that no matter how you look at it, Katakuri is a qualified elder brother. Even if Smoothie tried his best to defeat his 140, it is impossible to shoot him. Katakuri. Brother. Smoothie called out Katakuri's name with difficulty. Even though he had a huge body of nearly 5 meters, he couldn't help trembling slightly. Smooge. Katakuri looked at the crime scene. How could he not understand what his sister was doing? But he didn't intend to do anything. Instead, he looked at Smoothie with complicated eyes. Do you want to do it to Mom? Hearing Katakuri's deep voice asking, Smoothie was already nervous, but now he burst out directly. Brother Katakuri. Don't you think there is something wrong with our family? Mom didn't treat us as children at all, and has been using us all the time, taking away the lives of brothers and sisters at will. Look at Bree. How old is he? Has she ever done a little bit of mom duty? Smoothie roared at the top of his voice, as if he had vented all his anger. Of course Katakuri understands her feelings. Bree is his most beloved sister. When he was young, it was because of Bree's injury that Katakuri decided to be a so-called perfect man. No one will ever see what he's thinking. Smoothie was about to be punished by Big Mom at the meeting recently because of his marriage. It was also because of Katakuri's dealings that Smoothie was safe and sound. Why? Advertisement. Katakuri sighed softly, then turned around. I don't care what you do, it's your decision, but be careful. After finishing speaking, Katakuri left without giving Smoothie a chance to speak. Smoothie just stared blankly at the back of her brother leaving. She knew that Katakuri didn't intend to report on her, and she didn't even care about it. Now that I think about it, is this the right thing to do? Is it really okay to do this because your own affairs involve the whole family? Then he seemed to think of something, and Smoothie's eyes became firm again. Drop the potion directly on the ingredients and desserts. It has already started, don't stop. No matter what the result is, even if she will die in the end, that is her own decision. On the other side, Stracy was chatting with Big Mom in the banquet living room. I have to say that her disguise was really good. In order to get in touch with Big Mom, she had prepared for many years. After countless efforts, the two became close friends who talked about everything. At this time, she brought another box of snacks to Big Mom. Lin, I made you angry last time in front of everyone. It was my fault. I brought you delicious snacks. I hope you can forgive me. With that said, Stracy handed over an exquisite gift box. A lot of saliva flowed from the corner of Big Mom's mouth, and Stracy knew her hobbies very well, so every gift she brought would make her linger. Well, Stracy, we're friends. How could I be mad at you? Saying that, Big Mom opened the gift box directly, and as expected, as soon as the gift box was opened, it was full of fragrance. That's good. Watching Big Mom eat the snacks, a meaningful smile appeared on Stracy's face. At the same time, there was a knock on the door of Namikaze Minato in the luxurious hotel. After opening the door, someone who claimed to be Smoothie's subordinate wanted to invite Namikaze Minato to the living room to discuss the wedding. Now that he has agreed to the other party's request for marriage, Namikaze Minato will certainly not refuse. It happened to be served by Smoothie with those jade feet, and he was in a very good state of mind. Soon, Smoothie's subordinates brought Namikaze Minato to the banquet hall where Big Mom was. Advertisement. After entering, Namikaze Minato saw that familiar face, and couldn't help but a funny smile on his face. Well, Namikaze Minato, are you here? Just right, let's sit down and chat. Really, Namikaze Minato knew at the first sight of Stracy that there was definitely a conspiracy. Coupled with what Big Mom said, it means that she didn't invite herself to come to discuss at all. That's good, I came here earlier. After Namikaze Minato sat down, Stracy greeted with a smile. Hello, Mr. Minato. Could it be that he is so confident in his own strength, so confident that no conspiracy can hurt him in the slightest? With Namikaze Minato's acuity, he can definitely find the problem, but Stracy wonders why he doesn't expose himself. Stracy cursed secretly, looking at Namikaze Minato with a trace of resentment in his eyes. It seems that you want to do something. After all, he got up and left. Ah, it's also good for you. It's really a coincidence to see you here, Namikaze Minato said meaningfully. Isn't she afraid of her identity being exposed? But she's not cocky enough to think she can get away with Big Mom and Namikaze Minato unscathed. At this moment, Namikaze Minato said with a teasing smile. Don't, since you're here, let's chat together. I'm quite interested in your underground forces. It's too late to think too much. It's been a while since Big Mom ate the snacks. It's estimated that her cravings will hit 4.4 soon. By then, Stracy thinks she has some strength. Of course, Namikaze Minato didn't mean to expose Stracy, he just wanted to see what Stracy could do here. Yes. Yeah, I happen to be here to chat with Lin. Stracy secretly cursed Smoothie for not being good at things. As I said before, let Namikaze Minato come over after she leaves. Yeah, Big Mom said with a smile while eating snacks. Stracy, you are here. so let's stay and chat together, just in time to help me think about the wedding. Damn. So he quickly said, since you are here, Mr. Kirito, I will leave first, Linlin, let's talk next time. But Smoothie's subordinates let him come here. Chapter 271 Outbreak of Craving. What? Is Ms. Tracy busy with other things? Namikaze Kirito asked, pretending to be puzzled, completely ignoring the other party's increasingly gloomy face. How could it be? Of course not. It is my honor to be able to chat with the 2-4 emperors. Stressy Yu squeezed her thigh tightly to prevent her emotions from bursting out. Now that the plan is almost successful, she can't expose it, although she doesn't know why Namikaze Kirito didn't tell the story. This is just right, don't you have self-confidence? Then take your self-confidence to defeat Big Mom. 5 elders gave her the task of destroying this marriage, so whether Big Mom is defeated or killed, or Namikaze Kirito is defeated, it is a windfall. Marriage is definitely out of the question, and this can be regarded as the completion of the task. The most important thing right now is to find an opportunity and leave before Big Mom's cravings occur, otherwise she will be promoted, but her life will be lost, so what's the use of having a title? Big Mom is still eating snacks. I didn't have much interest in the conversation between Namikaze Kirito and Stracy. O3 didn't know what was going on, but the snacks Stracy brought her this time were so delicious that she couldn't stop. He even had a big appetite, and the taste of countless beautiful things came to mind. Notify the chef, cake, donut, mousse, I want it, let them make it for me quickly. The subordinates of the banquet hall heard what Big Mom said, and quickly turned around to inform the back kitchen. They saw a trace of blood in Big Mom's eyes, which was a sign of food cravings, how dare they delay. One of them hurried to notify the cadres of the Big Mom pirates. You know, Namikaze Kirito is here, if his captain suffers from food cravings, the consequences will be disastrous. Seeing the strange appearance of Big Mom, Namikaze Kirito probably understood. After all, he is someone who has read the original book and knows about Big M's crazy disease. Then he looked at Stracy. Is this woman planning to take advantage of Big Mom's cravings to have a conflict with me? It's really interesting, this is just right. Originally Namikaze Kirito was thinking of finding a reason to do something to Big Mom, but someone handed him a pillow when he was sleepy. In the banquet hall, Big Mom was feasting, while the other two, one with a pale face, frequently looked towards the door. The other is confident, watching Big Mom eat with great interest. Soon, a group of subordinates brought over the ready-made food one after another, and Big Mom took one bite at a time, which was not enough for him. Advertisement, more, hurry up, let them do it faster. Big Mom's appearance at this time is getting more and more sick. If there is a child here, he will be scared and cry. She has no time to deal with Namikaze Kirito and Stracy now, her mind is on eating. At this moment, the door was slowly pushed open, and several children of the Charlotte family walked in. The eldest son of the Charlotte family, Candy Minister Pei Ross Perot. The second son of the Charlotte family, Keita Jundu, one of the 3 dessert generals. The third son of the Charlotte family, the Minister of Beans, and Charlotte Tedafu. And one of the 3 stars of dessert, Charlotte Tesmoji, who collaborated with Stracy. The 4 can be said to be the core of the family. The 3 dessert generals are only the Minister of Biscuits. Charlotte Cracker did not appear, and the 2-4 emperors came into contact, which made the whole new world ready to move. So he is responsible for the vigilance of the entire Cake Island. As soon as the 4 children came in, they saw the Big Mom who was eating like crazy, and the eldest son Pei Rospero was full of surprise. Mom, what's wrong? Dafu on the side also said with a bit of worry. Isn't this about eating cravings? Hurry up and inform the kitchen, act quickly, otherwise. When he said this, Jinlot Dafu deliberately glanced at Namikaze Kirito who was sitting there casually. He whispered softly. Otherwise, things will be troublesome. Smoothie didn't speak, she gritted her teeth and looked at Big Mom. She knew that the plan might be successful, and now she was full of tension. Katakuri also didn't speak, he had a rough idea of what Smoothie was going to do from her previous actions. So Katakuri came here not to stop Big Mom, but to protect his brothers and sisters. When the 2-4 emperors go to war, the entire Cake Island will be affected. At that time, who can control their life and death? He is strong enough, of course there is no problem, but it does not mean that other brothers and sisters also have his strength, and there are even some existences with little combat power at all. At that time, it was his turn to make a move. Not enough, more, Big Mom has become completely crazy. A homies was caught by Big Mom before he could dodge in time, and sent them to his mouth together. Before he could utter a scream, he was swallowed directly into his stomach. Advertisement, oops. Ross Perot has already noticed that his mom is about to fall into a crazy mode, and quickly looked at the back kitchen. He wondered why the speed of serving is so slow now that he has just stocked up the warehouse with dim sum. Soon, his doubts were resolved, and a subordinate quickly came to them and reported. Master Pei Ross, something is wrong. I don't know who destroyed the ingredients and desserts of the warehouse curry noodles. Now there is nothing left. The only survival in the back kitchen is also gone. What? Boom. At the same time, they also noticed that something was wrong. Someone was trying to plot against them. Yes, it is very similar to rubber fruit, but Luffy is the god of the sun, and the later stage is far from what Nunuo fruit can match. Ross Perot and Daifuku who were below hurried forward. Perot and Daifuku looked at each other. Mom, the food will be delivered soon, please calm down. With a loud noise, Big Mom's hair turned into a blazing flame, and he punched Ross Perot on the ground in front of him, causing the entire banquet hall to tremble a few times. But now there is no time to think about it so much, after all, 140's top priority is to keep Big Mom from going crazy. Puro Ross and Daifuku seemed to be persuading them, but at this moment, 2 white rice cakes appeared, wrapped them up, and then dragged them to Katakori's side. Dim sum. I want dim sum, the ability of waxy fruit. Big Mom's pupils had disappeared, obviously losing his mind, and he waved his fists quickly. Ross Puro was dragged to Katakori, and said anxiously, Katakori, what are you doing in my way? Stop home quickly. Our family will be in trouble if this continues. Why? Why is there only so much food? Big Mom suddenly turned the whole table over. Just when the subordinate listened to the order and planned to notify everyone immediately. Use their abilities to create desserts and snacks. Hurry up and let Mom eat first. Chapter 272 Megaseconds. Tracy, where are you going? Katakori didn't speak, but shook his head seriously. Pei Raspe Luo Mingbai, this is his younger brother telling him that Big Mom's cravings have already occurred, so now it's not a matter of stopping at all, but trying to find ways to minimize losses. Over the years, Big Mom has also suffered from food cravings several times, but each time it is because the food he wants to eat is not available. Basically, it is a dessert. How could she want to eat endlessly like today, and the strong hunger made her go crazy? If it was the past, you only need to take out the snacks that Big Mom wants, but this time there is no way. All the food stored in the backup warehouse has disappeared. It seems that there is no way to stop Big Mom's cravings. Hateful. After Ross Puro said abominably, he called Dafu, and the two planned to evacuate all the people nearby. Cake Island is their territory, which means that the people nearby are all from their own area. If they were killed by mistake because of Big Mom's cravings, nothing unexpected happened, their pirate group might be seriously injured. Is this your plan? Katakori glanced at Smoothie next to him and said softly. Well. Smoothie nodded, directly admitted that she did this, and then continued. Mom just needs to fight with Namikaze Kirito. No matter if I win or lose, I don't need to get married. Even if Mom loses, we might be free. Then have you ever thought about it? This is also what Namikaze Kirito expects. Katakori left only this meaningful sentence, and then turned and left directly. He still has to protect other brothers and sisters. With Namikaze Kirito here, there is no need to think about the future. After the first meeting, after Namikaze Kirito said those words to him, Katakori knew that this man would definitely find a reason to attack Big Mom, but he didn't remind him, basically acquiescing to this matter. Now that it has been acquiesced, how can it be possible to stop Smoothie? Hearing the words Katakori left before leaving, Smoothie subconsciously looked at Namikaze Kirito not far away. At this time, Namikaze Kirito didn't have a trace of surprise on his face, on the contrary, the corner of his mouth was raised, but the development of the situation made him very happy. How can this be? Smoothie's beautiful eyes are full of horror. Could it be that his calculation is just a joke? Namikaze Kirito is here for their pirates. This is bad. Advertisement. Although Smoothie hopes that Big Mom and Namikaze Kirito can fight, it doesn't mean she wants Namikaze Kirito to do something to their children. If Namikaze Kirito defeats Big Mom, they will be free, and Smoothie doesn't want to be in a wolf's den after being out of a tiger's den. But now that the matter has been done, there is no chance to regret it, so I can only stand aside and watch the development of the gaffe. Seeing Big Mom getting more and more manic, Tracy found a chance to leave. As soon as she stood up, a figure appeared directly behind her. Turning around, I saw Namikaze Kirito, who was sitting opposite just now, appeared on her chair, and looked at her with slightly playful eyes. Where are you going? Tracy, backquote. Tong. Mr. Kirito. Tracy squeezed out a reluctant smile on her face. Linlin, she may be sick. I want to go out and find some helpers. Helper? Namikaze Kirito pretended to be puzzled, then pointed at Smoothie standing in front of the door. Isn't she your helper? Smoothie? She doesn't have much medical ability, I'm afraid. Really? But isn't it the plan of the two of you that this old woman has become like this? Hearing this, Tracy was startled, and then put her hand into the satchel. There was a special pistol there. After the bullets were covered with armament hockey, the penetrating power was extremely strong. This is also one of her trump cards. Now that Namikaze Kirito has seen through the plan, there is no need to act anymore. Tracy pulled out the straight pistol and pointed it at Namikaze Kirito. Let me go. It's scary, Tilda. Namikaze Kirito raised his hands, a rare imitation of Kizaru. Is Ms. Stacy planning to use this thing to kill me? Just because I know your secret, are you going to kill me? You even said that you admire me. Now it seems that you are lying to me. How could it be? Tracy showed a charming and dangerous smile. I admire you very much, but I am just a weak woman. It would be great if Mr. Kirito could let me go. Then you'd better kill me, such a beautiful lady. I don't want to let go. Namikaze Kirito spread his hands, expressing that he was ready to die. Pooh. Tracy spat at Namikaze Kirito secretly in her heart. Why was she reluctant to let go? When you scolded me before, I didn't see you showing mercy. Advertisement. He said that he didn't like blonde women and was not interested in her, and now he said that he couldn't bear to let go. Sure enough, the man's mouth is a deceiving ghost. Give me food, things, boom. While the two were chatting, Big Mom lost all reason, and his arms were covered with flames. It slammed into the ground. The entire banquet hall trembled violently, wisps of sparks floated in the air. Oops. Tracy yelled badly. Big Mom was about to start destroying it, and it would be too late if she didn't leave now. She didn't have the confidence of the man in front of her. How dare you stay here any longer? He directly and decisively pulled the trigger, and then the whole figure dodged towards the door. Shaved from one of Marine 6 styles. The moment Stracy reached the gate, Pink's gate was covered by a black shadow. It's Namikaze Kirito, and a shot doesn't have the slightest effect on him. Jiao Jiao's, ah lala, where is Ms. Stracy planning to go? Namikaze Kirito. Get out of the way. It seemed that the gunshot alarmed Big Mom, and at this time she had already focused on the 3 people in front of the door. The powerful aura emerged from his body, making the decoration of the entire room tremble. Get out of the way. Ms. Stracy, you are really funny. I just asked you politely where to go, but you are still attacking me, if this is the case. Namikaze Kirito's eyes froze, and his right leg directly turned into a whip, whipping Stracy's willow-like waist. With his current physical fitness, even if he didn't use all his strength, Stracy couldn't resist. I saw Stracy flying upside down in an elegant posture, with blood oozing out of Tan's mouth. Just now, she heard the bone-cracking sound in her body clearly. However, she who was flying upside down had no time to think about her injuries. There was still a crisis waiting for her. Chapter 273 The Big Mom who lost his mind because Chin Y's whip made her fly backwards, but who was facing the door. Of course it's the Big Mom who fell into a frenzy because of cravings. Thinking of this, Stracy endured the pain in her body and planned to let herself fall to the ground, but it was obvious that her goal would not be realized. 1 second before she lost consciousness, she saw Big Mom hit her hard with a flaming fist. Boom. The moment Stracy was smashed to the ground by Big Mom, the smooth floor was shattered directly, and countless gravels splashed in all directions. Unlike Namikaze Kirito who didn't use his full strength, crazy Big Mom doesn't care who you are. Stracy was firmly embedded in the ground with this punch, and blood gushed out of his mouth and nose, obviously because he was taking in less air and exhaling more. It is estimated that if this continues, if no one is treated in time, she will definitely be folded here. Food. I want food. After Big Mom smashed Stracy into the ground, he stood up, shouted loudly, and then seemed to be accumulating strength. Not good. Smoothie quickly covered his ears. I saw Big Mom took a deep breath, and then yelled out loudly. Ah! This roar led Hokage to spread out directly, countless glasses in the banquet hall shattered, and even the chandelier on the ceiling fell to the ground and shattered into pieces. Smoothie covered her ears with her hands, her pretty face was full of pain. Big Mom's weird cry is not something ordinary people can bear. But Namikaze Kirito looked normal and didn't respond. With Hokage's roar, is it useful to others? Will it be useful to him? As for the sonic attack, it is a joke. Hey, old woman, haven't you howled enough? Really? Under Smoothie's shocked gaze, Namikaze Kirito dodged, came to the top of Big Mom, and slammed out his right fist. Boom. History repeated itself, except that it was Big Mom who was driven into the ground, and not far from Stracy, a huge crater appeared. Big Mom's entire body was sunk in it. It's really noisy, annoying guy. Namikaze Kirito stood by the pit, clasped his ears, his face full of impatience. Although the sound wave and hockey attack are useless to him, but the strange noise makes him upset. Advertisement at the same time, he seemed to have enjoyed the punch just now. Big Mom's steel body is indeed not fake, the punch he swung was like hitting a mountain. It's no wonder, that when she was a child, the swords of the Titan tribe would break immediately when she was cut on her body. It can be said that she is very talented. Ah! With a burst of dust and smoke, the Big Mom who was driven into the ground jumped up, except for a little dust on his body and a fist mark on his face, there was no scar. In addition, she was in a state of madness, and she didn't know what pain was or what fear was. The only thing he knew was that the person in front of him blocked him from eating. Eat. Give me something to eat. Big Mom's right fist was wrapped in scorching flames, gushing out like a pillar of fire. Flamethrower. Turn the flame directly into a whip in the shape of a fire pillar, such as making. The soul fruit can give life to everything, including clouds and flames, and things that have given life can give power directly to the capable person. I have to say that although the original book has been emphasizing that there is no strongest fruit, it just depends on the ability to develop the day after tomorrow. But Big Mom, Kaido, Sengoku, and Marine Admiral, including Whitebeard, who don't have a heaven-defying fruit ability. Although it is also related to their own development, the upper limit of these fruit abilities is not rich. On the other hand, Doflamingo, a string fruit, let him play with great proficiency. Healing ability, attack ability, control ability, and defense ability are all developed to that extent. When facing Luffy, he was beaten and screamed, even though he had the blessing of the protagonist's halo. But if you give Doflamingo a fruit like 3 admirals, he is definitely not something that Luffy, who just went to sea 2 years later, can handle. Banquet Hall. Facing the oncoming pillar of fire, Namikaze Kirito showed no intention of leaving and spread out a palm, and Black's vortex emerged. Dark water. The pillar of fire directly hit the dark vortex. Even if there was a steady stream of flames gushing out, they still couldn't escape the small dark vortex. The ability of dark fruit is the nemesis of all demon fruit power. The darkness that swallows everything, of course, can also swallow the flames. Ace, the ability user of Mera fruit, used the Emperor Yan who is like a small sun, but he can't fight the darkness that covers the sky. So does Big Mom, of course. But now she has no reason at all, no battle plan at all, she just wants to destroy everything in front of her and find food. Advertisement so the flame output is still maintained. Even if it's useless. But as time passed, Namikaze Kirito seemed a little impatient. Then, with the other fist, punches out, ka. The atmosphere is torn apart and Shock Fruit's abilities reappear. If a Big Mom is usually rational, she would definitely dodge or resist, but she lost her mind and didn't care about the shattered space in front of her at all. Ka ka ka. There are more and more cracks in the atmosphere, and dense cracks are displayed in front of Big Mom. Cracks appeared on Pink's clothes, and then the flames on her hands dissipated completely, and traces of bloodstains appeared on her body. If it was someone else, even a strong man like Garp would cause a lot of injuries. Big Mom's steel body directly resisted Shock Fruit's ability. What an interesting body. A smile appeared on Namikaze Kirito's face, and then he jumped up and swept away with a whip leg. The speed and strength directly caused a sonic boom in the air, and there was a trace of scorching heat on those legs. Boom. With a loud noise, the whip leg hit Big Mom's abdomen directly, and the fat visible to the naked eye was sunken in. Big Mom's hands stretched forward, and as this force caused a second roar on her body, Big Mom couldn't bear it any longer, and stepped back directly. 2 feet made 2 deep ditches in the ground. Boom boom boom. Julie directly penetrated the Big Mom through the entire banquet hall, and countless pieces of snacks and glass fell to the ground. Seeing this, Smoothie stepped away and left the banquet hall. Outside the banquet hall, Puro Ross Puro has dismissed all the people around him, leaving only the fighting children of the family. When I was thinking about how to get in, I heard a crackling sound in the banquet hall. Just as I was about to open the door and go, I saw a huge and familiar figure, crashed into the wall, and backed out. Mom! Pei Ross Puro shouted anxiously. Chapter 274. The battle is heating up. How is it possible? There is someone who can blow away a mom who is suffering from cravings. The strongest in the world? Has it completely surpassed Whitebeard? Damn it, what will happen to our Big Mom pirates in the future? A group of children saw how Big Mom was blown out, but none of them dared to step forward to help. This is a 4 Emperors level battle. Didn't they step forward to give away their heads? What's more, my own mom has fallen into a state of madness. They don't distinguish between enemies and friends, and rush forward rashly, not to mention that they are not Namikaze Kirito's opponents at all. Big Mom will do it to them too. Furthermore, they were also shocked by Namikaze Kirito's combat power. Big Mom, who fell into madness mode, completely gave up his defensive posture and attacked desperately without feeling pain. In this case, the combat power has been greatly improved, at least head to head. Even people of the general level have to avoid their edge. How can they directly hit her flying? At this time, Big Mom was still howling, and she took Namikaze Kirito's kick firmly, but because she couldn't feel the pain, her fighting spirit increased rather than diminished. Tilda. All she knows now is that someone is stopping her from eating. Ah! The flames on Big Mom's head expanded a bit, and his left and right hands were covered by thunder and flames. The surrounding ground was cracked like spiderwebs because of her full vitality. Namikaze Kirito came out of the ruins of the banquet hall calmly at this time. Seeing Katakuri not far away, he gave him a meaningful look, and then looked at Big Mom again. Now that the plan has started, let's settle it completely. Big Mom also felt the creature that prevented him from eating, and the flame in his hand was directly raised high. Fire in the sky. Hoo hoo. Accompanied by the sound of piercing through the sky, the surrounding children raised their heads and saw countless fireballs falling from the sky. Hastily launched a defense, was hit by this thing, it is not a joke. Boom boom boom. The flames fell on the ground, and there was a violent explosion sound. Namikaze Kirito was familiar with this scene. Isn't Akainu's meteor volcano also good at this? But this attack was too childish for him. Just in time, a flame landed on his head immediately, and Namikaze Kirito waved his hand lightly, and the flame was shot directly into the distance by his hand, turning 10 buildings into ashes. Sure enough, after losing his mind, although he is not afraid of pain, he doesn't have many effective attacks at all. Advertisement. Namikaze Kirito shook his head, very disappointed. He was also a real fighter in the Hokage world, but in that ninjutsu world, there was no one who could face him head-on. Even if Emperor Guy used the 8 inner gates formation, it was barely qualified, but that move was not durable at all, and it was too boring. After reading this, Namikaze Kirito no longer hesitated, stepped on the ground with one foot, and galloped out like a cannonball. Boom! A strong wind pressure directly turned the ruined banquet hall into rubble. Big Mom also seemed to sense the danger, stopped releasing flames, and took off a hat from his head covered in flames with one hand. Then the hat directly turned into a huge sword. Bicorn Napoleon, this is also one of the most powerful homies owned by Big Mom. It is worn on the head on weekdays, and it can be directly turned into a giant sword when it is taken off during battle. Big Mom, holding swords in both hands, did not regain her sanity, but even in a mad state, she still had a sense of fighting. If the enemy in front of her didn't use all her strength, she would be the one who died. Hockey was wrapped around Big Mom's body, and he swung his sword violently with both hands. Elbuff's gun, Vigo. This is the swordsmanship of the Titan family, using all the strength of the whole body to slash a giant sword in front of them. Combined with this move, Big Mom's innate body is like a tiger with wings added. Finally something decent. In the face of a powerful blow, Namikaze Kirito did not retreat but advanced, and charged the right fist to hit the giant sword directly. For him, there is nothing more practical than breaking through all methods with one force. Boom! Everyone on Cake Island felt the shock of the entire island. The attack collision between Big Mom and Namikaze Kirito directly knocked all the onlookers out. The center of the two, Hockey, the airwave, the crack in the atmosphere, and the energy hedging made a deep ditch appear directly on the ground, and this deep ditch is still spreading. The surrounding flowers, plants, trees and buildings were all solidified into fly ash. Even the sky was completely torn apart. The two were still holding each other, and compared to Namikaze Kirito's excitement, Big Mom's feet had completely sunk into the ground, and more than that, his hands began to tremble. Advertisement 0. Asking for flowers. 0. The height and strength of the Titans, together with their steel body, couldn't stop the man in front of them. An expression called fear actually appeared on that ferocious face, which is impossible for people who have lost their minds. But Big Mom sensed the danger. Finally, Big Mom couldn't bear it anymore, let out a roar, and used a little force with his hands again, barely resisting Namikaze Kirito's attack. She really couldn't bear it anymore. Fear at the end is anger, combined with a heart that wants to eat food, making her want to tear Namikaze Kirito to pieces. Perot is the eldest son of the Charlotte family, but when faced with this situation, he basically asks Katakuri for his opinion, and everyone is used to it. But no matter what it is, Katakuri sincerely hopes to protect them. Although we all know that Namikaze Kirito has the title of the strongest in the world, but all along, the invincible mountain in their hearts, that is, Big Mom, collapsed at this moment. She didn't know if Katakuri really didn't want his brothers and sisters to get hurt, or if he wanted to help her with her plan. If she knew, I still don't know what I would do to her. He even cooperates with outsiders to plot against his own mom, and these brothers and sisters don't know about it. Even withstanding the opponent's attack is already very reluctant. Even if he loses his mind and completely abandons defense, the Big Mom who only knows how to attack will be at a disadvantage in frontal attacks. That kind of fight, we can't help, and I don't want you to be affected. No matter what time it is, this perfect big brother of myself thinks about the brothers and sisters around her, and she mostly thinks about herself. But she doesn't have the slightest regret, she just did it. Who told her that the only thing she wants now is freedom? Mom. How is this possible? Katakuri, let's help. 0. But she just can't do it. The children who flew upside down saw this scene, their jaws almost dropped. This caused an emotion called guilt to emerge in Smoothie's heart. Katakuri shook his head with a serious expression, while Smoothie at the side saw this scene with complicated eyes. Chapter 275. Big Mom is awake just when the children of the Charlotte family didn't know what to do. The duel in the field finally came to a conclusion. After a violent shaking, with Namikaze Kirito and Big Mom at the center, the huge cake island couldn't bear the impact of the two, and it split into two. The people on the island didn't know what happened, they just felt that the ground was shaking for a while. At this time, Namikaze Kirito no longer kept his hand, and violently exerted force with his right fist. Ooh! The power of the shock hit directly and comprehensively. There was only a click, and the giant sword formed by the horned hat Napoleon cracked, and even armament hockey couldn't protect him. The power of shock that has already evolved in an all-round way is really terrifying. Once Namikaze Kirito is completely wiped out, the power is simply not comparable to that of the original book. More and more sword blades were shattered, and Big Mom's arms became bloody and bloody. Even so, she didn't have the slightest intention of retreating. I lost my mind and felt no pain at all. But don't forget, even if you don't feel pain, you will still get hurt if you get hurt. Pooh. The huge body kept gushing out blood, like a small fountain. Seeing this scene made the children around them stupid. They knew that Big Mom was defeated. Maybe life was threatened. At this moment, Big Mom's pupilless eyes finally returned to normal. As soon as I woke up, I felt a sharp pain, and Namikaze Kirito in front of me. What? Before it was too late to be surprised, Big Mom yelled. Zeus. Yes. Mom. Thundercloud Zeus rose directly from Big Mom's body into the air, and then turned into a dark cloud. Click. A purple thunder shot down from its body. Namikaze Kirito used his right fist again and pushed forward violently, only to hear a bang. Big Mom spewed blood pain all over his body, and flew out backwards. Advertisement. Then clap your hands. Zhendon, by clap your hands. With a bang, the mighty thunder disappeared without a trace. He has used this move in the world of Hokage, and he has also seen the special application of shock force in an anime in his previous life. At that time, I thought their moves were very handsome. After fully developing shock fruit, this trick allowed him to develop it as well. It can be said that all elemental attacks, as long as he wants, he can slap his hands and make them disappear. Mom. Seeing Big Mom flying upside down, a group of children couldn't stand it any longer and bullied them. Puro, Katakuri and Smoothie stood in front of Namikaze Kirito. The expressions of the three people are different, and Puro, who doesn't know the truth, looks at Namikaze Kirito with anger and fear. Katakuri's eyes were complicated, while Smoothie's was much more complicated. Her pretty face was full of tangles. She didn't know what to do now, so she stood up subconsciously. Totally Katakuri's influence. Mr. Kirito, Mom is already awake. Still, please let her go. Puro's heart was about to bleed. When did their famous Four Emperors group suffer such humiliation? The captain of Big Mom was defeated, and as his eldest son, he still came to intercede. What a shame. Namikaze Kirito ignored Puro, but looked at Katakuri and said softly, "How are you thinking, Katakuri?" Call. Katakuri let out a breath, and then said, "As long as I can protect my younger siblings, I am willing to follow you, Namikaze. Kirito." Katakuri. You? Puro looked at his brother in disbelief. The conversation between the two can be heard by individuals. Katakuri is planning to betray the family. Smoothie looked at Katakuri with the same look, whispering in my heart. Okay. No wonder you didn't stop me. It turns out you hooked up with Namikaze Kirito from the very first moment. I originally thought that in this family, I was the only one who betrayed the family. Who would have thought that you, a man with thick eyebrows and big eyes, would also betray the family? Katakuri. What do you mean? Advertisement. The children who rushed over glared at Katakuri, and they didn't even call him Big Brother anymore. They don't know what happened, but now they hear that Katakuri is going to follow Namikaze Kirito, or at this critical moment of Big Rom's defeat. It's nothing, I just made a choice. Katakuri didn't mean to explain at all. He was not good at explaining, so what if he was misunderstood? He didn't care at all. As long as my younger brothers and sisters are safe, there will be absolutely no safety at all by the side of Big Mom. Before, when C betrayed, the tower area was firm in this idea. If Smoothie knew that Katakuri was determined to follow Namikaze Kirito because of her, she would probably consider working with Stracy. She just wants to be free, but she doesn't want to let her family fall into flames. She never expected that her favorite son would choose to stand beside Namikaze Kirito at this moment. 5.2. Katakuri. Are you going to betray me? Big Mom's heart was full of anger. Unexpectedly, Katakuri was about to leave before she reached her plan. At that time, you will realize how small your vision is. Namikaze Kirito looked at Katakuri's expressionless face, and couldn't help saying in admiration. You made the right choice, and soon you will know what my purpose is. Cough cough. Thank you, Captain. Katakuri nodded, and then stood behind Namikaze Kirito. Seeing that their elder brother, who is called the perfect man, has made up his mind, the children of the Charlotte family looked at each other in blank dismay. Now that things that shocked them happened one after another, they no longer knew how to react. As for your brothers and sisters, don't worry, they can follow me. Then he stood up with Dafu's support, with a huge body, a ferocious face, and blood all over his body. In her opinion, if Big Mom was defeated, or even died in battle, with people like Katakuri in the family, sooner or later they would be able to regain their fame in the sea. At this moment, Big Mom, who fell on the ground, coughed violently. Looking at the embarrassed Big Mom, Katakuri didn't say a word. Since Big Mom doesn't care about the life and death of their children, why should he care about each other? Seeing that what he said didn't get a response, Big Mom became even more angry. Then a pair of eyes stared straight at Namikaze Kirito. No matter how you look at it, it looks like a ghost. Little devil. We have already negotiated the conditions, but you still want to attack me. How about this? As long as you kill Katakuri now, I will forget the past. I'm just telling you, that brat with red hair is looking for helpers to deal with you at sea. If we work together, it will be of great help to you. Chapter 276. You are the captain, you have the final say. Hey, Big Mom. Namikaze Kirito sighed, and looked helplessly at the desperate old woman in front of him. Even now, she still thinks about marriage and the like. Doesn't she know that he is just perfunctory her? He even uses that condescending tone. Help him? Are you kidding? Don't talk about the redhead uniting with others, he doesn't care at all. Even if red hair finds enough strong men, it's useless to form an alliance with Big MBH. It is better to believe that a sow can climb a tree than to believe in the mouth of a pirate. What do you mean? Namikaze Kirito. Big Mom gritted her teeth and looked at Namikaze Kirito angrily. She found that when Namikaze Kirito looked at her, there was a trace of disgust and pity. She has been the 4 emperors for so long, and she is also a top powerhouse in the world. Even if she can't beat Whitebeard, she can't kill her when she goes back to Whitebeard. Such a person, when is it someone else's turn to look at her with disgust? It's not interesting, don't shout so loudly, I know your voice is loud. You want me to kill Katakuri? Don't joke. 03. He is my companion now, why should I kill him? Namikaze Kirito laughed. It's just Katakuri. My pirate group has many such people, and I can even create countless people who are stronger than him. The most perfect man is not my son. As long as you agree to my proposal, I will. Okay, Big Mom. Before Big Mom could finish speaking, Namikaze Kirito interrupted directly. At this time, his eyes were full of indifference. For you, Katakuri is irrelevant, you can kill him at any time, but for me, this guy is indispensable, otherwise why would I let him follow me? By the way, you are a failure when you are a mother. 1 or 2 will plot against you, hey. Thinking of the 4th generation couple in the Hokage world, they are also parents, so why is there such a big gap? When talking about calculations, Smoothie's expression was a bit unnatural. You must know that although Katakuri betrayed her own mom, she was also a betrayer. If it wasn't for her teaming up with Stracy to make this show, Big Mom wouldn't be reduced to what it is today. Hearing this, Big Mom was furious. You little brat. You actually taught me a lesson. Advertisement, my old lady is a Big Mom. The person who wants to rule the sea is not someone you can insult here casually. The wailing of the loser is always so unpleasant. Namikaze Kirito pretended to button his ears, and then looked at Katakuri. If I kill her, will it make you feel bad? If so, I will let her go. Katakuri was taken aback for a moment, then looked at Big Mom. If he hated Big Mom, he wouldn't hate it that much. After all, he was the mother who gave birth to him, but if Big Mom is alive, will his brothers and sisters have a good end? Katakuri. She is our mom. What are you thinking? Puro, the eldest son, spoke again. He is different from Katakuri in that his ability and strength are not as strong as the opponent's. If he loses Big Mom, he doesn't know what to do with himself. Even if Katakuri said, let them join Namikaze Kirito, but he is used to dominating the Big Mom pirates, so it is impossible to change his family. Katakuri. I'm your mom. You have to think about it before you talk. Big Mom didn't hide his killing intent at all. I don't know if she is too idiotic, or she is confident that Katakuri dare not say the words to kill her. Katakuri looked at Big Mom for a long time, and then at his younger brothers and sisters. At present, the members of the Charlotte family are divided into two types. One is like Perot, who wants to be a Big Mom, or the other is at a loss, and they don't know what to do. You are the captain, you have the final say, no matter what you do, I don't have any problems. Katakuri. Those close to Big Mom glared at each other, they couldn't understand why Katakuri became what he is now. He is obviously the most loyal on weekdays, but Namikaze Kirito is going to kill Big Mom, and it doesn't matter if Kotaku has a full face. How would they know that the reason why Katakuri is the most loyal one on weekdays is entirely because of his younger brothers and sisters? If he doesn't need to protect them, Katakuri wants to be his true self. Not this so-called perfect man. This kind of broken title is given to him for nothing, and he doesn't even need it. With Katakuri's departure, most of the children of the Charlotte family also left, and they wanted to discuss with Katakuri what to do next. Advertisement: the remaining children, headed by Ross Perot, add up to only 6 people. It can be seen how failed Big Mom is as a mother. Even if death is imminent, those children have no intention of fighting for one. Instead, he is willing to follow his elder brother Katakuri. Smoothie didn't leave either, but she didn't stand with Pei Rospero and others, nor did she stand next to Namikaze Kirito. Although Pei Rospero and others stayed, they didn't know what to do. He even felt in his heart that as long as these children fought hard, coupled with their efforts, they might not be able to survive. As everyone knows, this is exactly what Namikaze Kirito wanted. If not, how could he have seen through everything and chose to enter the set? Because she thinks that's what she provoked. A bunch of bastards. Don't they know who left them? What a bunch of bastards. A bunch of cowardly 320 brats. Mom. What should we do now? Hearing Rospero's words, Big Mom also had a vicious expression on his face. But now there are only 5 or 6 of them left, and Smoothie, who is not far away, has no intention of getting involved. Big Mom seemed to understand that she had come to an end at this time, but she did not reflect on her failure as a mother. Instead, she blamed her children for leaving her. No one could have imagined that it was she who was plotting against Namikaze Kirito, intending to collect benefits after the Oriole. She wants to be free, but she also wants to see the final result of this battle. Even if Big Mom is going to be killed, she should still watch here. As a result, it finally came to such an end that even life may not be able to be saved right now. In other words, among their group, they don't even have the strength of a 3-star sweet general. How can they fight against Namikaze Kirito, who can push Big Mom to the brink? Big Mom, thank you so much for inviting me to Cake Island, but unfortunately it was broken. Let them fight Namikaze Kirito. Just kidding, if all the brothers and sisters were there, they might still have the courage. Looking at the surrounding ground, Namikaze Kirito sighed, regretfully. Instead, he stood not far away, watching all this. Headshot. Chapter 277: Big Mom's death? Have you already regarded this place as your territory? Big Mom saw Namikaze Kirito's expression, and couldn't understand what the other party was talking about. What a pity that it was broken here. It seems that from the very beginning, he has chosen his own territory. It's ridiculous that Big Mom has always felt that she has the advantage. She can calculate everything and become the biggest beneficiary in the upcoming war. It turns out that my behavior is a clown in the eyes of others. Thinking of this, Big Mom couldn't help but want to laugh. Don't worry, you have Katakuri in your pirate group, don't worry about where those guys go. As for you. Namikaze Kirito walked forward step by step, completely ignoring the vigilance of Ross Perot and others. You become the 4 emperors, the so-called Sea Emperors of the New World, and you feel satisfied. For so many years, when Whitebeard was here, you didn't dare to fight. Even if she died, you are still content with the status quo. Kaido is still planning a war. It's a world war. In addition to having children, you only want to use marriage to expand your power, and you have never thought about strengthening your own strength. You should be eliminated like this. As Namikaze Kirito talked more, the face of Big Mom became uglier, and she knew that the other party was telling the truth. But when it comes to the face, it's not so nice, not to mention that Namikaze Kirito didn't let her go. If this is the case, why bother to insult her? Wouldn't it be better to just have fun? Finally, Namikaze Kirito came in front of Big Mom, and Perot and others automatically made way for him. Although Big Mom's height is there, Namikaze Kirito, who is of ordinary height, looks weak beside her, but in the eyes of Ross Perot and others, Namikaze Kirito's figure is magnified countless times. It's almost becoming a titan. In comparison, his defeated mom was rather insignificant. What a nasty brat. Well, it's a pity that I didn't eat enough in the end. My stomach is still hungry. Big Mom came to the end of his life, seemed to have figured it out, and laughed out loud instead. Still thinking that if you don't eat enough, you will die, which is a shame. Boom. With a muffled sound, Big Mom's huge body fell to the ground. Mom, advertisement. Pei Ross, Perot and the others rushed up, gathered around Big Mom, and started crying. No matter how cruel Big Mom was, she was still their mother, and now they saw her die in front of him. It is inevitable that sadness starts from the heart. This is also the reason why Katakuri led the people away directly. He didn't want to see this scene. No one noticed. The black light on Namikaze Kirito's hand flashed. Soul Fruit. Here it is. This is a good ability. It can give life to all materials. It is simply a bug-level weapon. It can be said that due to the author's own reasons, the combat power set in One Piece world is not like the Dragon Ball next door, which destroys stars at every turn. But if these strange devil fruits have been strengthened, they are like the shock fruit and dark fruit in Namikaze Kirito. After opening the shackles of the world, these abilities are terrifying. Especially going to countless worlds in the future, those worlds don't have any restrictions, devil fruit's ability can definitely be raised to a new height. For example, Captain Kid's magnetic fruit, in his hands, is just playing with steel, but in the world of Marvel, Magneto uses magnetism to destroy the world at every turn. As for the soul fruit, Namikaze Kirito believes that it has a unique effect. If a planet is endowed with a soul, what will be the result? Does that mean that all creatures on this planet will disappear in a single thought? After all, those creatures all appeared on the planet, and they are closely related to the planet itself. So after Big Mom died, Namikaze Kirito directly accepted the ability of the soul fruit. You can study it slowly in the future, and even give it to your own subordinates. Originally planned to go directly to Katakuri, but an unexpected person stopped in front of Namikaze Kirito. Isn't this my fiancé? What can you do with me? The person blocking the way was Smoothie. She witnessed the death of her own mother. It is impossible to say that her heart was not touched, but it was far from being sad, because this was also one of her plans. Now after seeing it with my own eyes, I didn't have the kind of reaction that Ross Perot and others had. Until Namikaze Kirito was about to leave, she resolutely blocked his way. It's not to avenge Big Mom, but at this moment she is a little confused and doesn't know what to do. Advertisement under normal circumstances, after the plan is successful, she will let Katakuri lead the rest of the brothers and sisters to revive the pirate group. Now Katakuri has followed Namikaze Kirito. Perot and Ross Perot are not very reliable, and Stracy still doesn't know which stone she is crushed under. Only Namikaze Kirito, they had a, one-kick, relationship. Hearing Namikaze Kirito's teasing tone, Smoothie was not angry, and looked at Namikaze Kirito with a hint of complexity in her beautiful eyes. What are you going to do next? How to do it? Of course I will take over Wangguo. To be honest, the food here is really delicious. Who can't be tempted? And then? Are you going to become One Piece? Smoothie looked at Namikaze Kirito intently. One Piece? What is that? I'm not even a pirate. What does it mean to me to be a One Piece? Namikaze Kirito spread his hands, expressing that he had no intention of becoming a One Piece at all. Then he looked up at Smoothie. I said, can you stop making me look up all the time? I'm very annoyed. Smoothie clenched her teeth. She wanted to get angry, but she didn't know how to get angry. Finally, she compromised and sat directly on the ground. In this way, the two reached a similar height. Looking at you like this, you're still very obedient. Do you want to come with me? Namikaze Kirito. Nose Zhao walked up to Smoothie, stretched out his hand and caressed that soft face, with a hint of appreciation in his eyes meaning. What are you doing with you? Smoothie asked subconsciously. Nonsense, you are my fiancé, what can you do with me? I like the previous things very much. We can continue when we have time. You think beautifully. Hearing what Namikaze Kirito said, Smoothie felt his feet itch. The scene that made her blush directly recalled in her mind. Ha 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 ha, you are already my fiancé, do you think I will let you go? Namikaze Kirito laughed outright when he saw Smoothie's shy look. I can follow you like brother Katakuri, I hope you don't let us down. Huh? You are different from him, he is my companion, you. After all, under Smoothie's shocked gaze, Namikaze Kirito's face was directly approached, and the two kissed together. Chapter 278. A world never seen. The captain, everyone in the family, except for Ross Perot and Daifuku, the others, stayed behind. Inside a house on Cake Island, Namikaze Kirito is listening to Katakuri's report. This is the place where the Big Mom pirates meet on weekdays. Of course, now the entire world including the surrounding seas has become the territory of Namikaze Kirito. I have to say that Katakuri's call is very strong. Even though Big Mom died, those children decided to stay on Cake Island and join Namikaze Kirito with their elder brother. 3 sweet generals, Katakuri, Smoothie, Cracker, all stand in this room. Needless to say, Katakuri is the first one who decided to follow, and naturally has the right to speak. The other two are Smoothie who had a close contact with Namikaze Kirito. Just now on the battlefield, the kiss between the two has already shown everything. The only Cracker, with his character, never shows mercy to traitors. It's unlikely to change teams, but with Katakuri, Cracker doesn't need Namikaze Kirito at all. I don't know what the two talked about, anyway. Cracker also joined Namikaze Kirito's command. Of course, even without this person, Genka's Kirito wouldn't care. In this Big Mom pirate group, the only thing he likes is Katakuri, who has a strong will and can think calmly. Not only that, 040 has someone in his heart that he wants to protect. Such a person, as a companion, is still very qualified. The positions of the 3 of you as cadres are still reserved. In a few days, I will let the Golden City come to the waters of the 10,000 kingdoms. At that time, you and others will also get to know Rixia well. Tay. Hearing Namikaze Kirito's words, the 3 of them had no opinion. It is of course good to be a cadre. As for the future of the IWC, they don't need to think about it. After that, it was renamed as Fantasy Township, and the name of Wangguo is because of common. Namikaze Kirito said casually with his legs on the table. Doflamingo, Shiryu of the Rain, Tezzolo, Lock Doll, Boa Hancock, plus the 3 of you, this is our team. When the time is right, I will take you to the Holy Land. The 3 of Katakuri originally planned to listen to Namikaze Kirito's future plans, but they suddenly heard that they were going to hit the Holy Land. Advertisement hit the Holy Land. How can such a big thing be said so plainly? Because of Namikaze Kirido's calm tone, none of the three of them reacted. When they did, they looked at each other and saw the eyes of each other. They knew that they heard it right. The man in front of him really wants to fight against the world government. What's the matter? Why are you so surprised? Are you terrified when you hear that the Holy Land is going to be marked? No, Katakuri shook his head. It's just that we never thought about it. It seems that you all have the same idea. Namikaze Kirido glanced at Smoothie, who felt the gaze and immediately remembered the kiss not long ago. His face flushed a little. All you should think about is the great power, and then become that kind of One Piece, and find the secret treasure of the sky? Seeing the expressions of the three, Namikaze Kirido nodded and continued. It seems that you all think so, so I have to ask a question instead. Let's not talk about the useless title of One Piece. Big secret treasure, what do you think it is? The big secret treasure? That's the treasure left by the Roger pirates. It is said that it has everything in the world. When Cracker mentioned the big secret treasure, his eyes were full of greed. It is worth mentioning that this time Cracker was shown in front of Namikaze Kirido with his real body, which is also the meaning of Katakuri. After all, the pirates have changed their bosses. If they don't do this, they will inevitably lack some sincerity. Even though he thinks differently, Katakuri still takes good care of his younger brother Cracker. He is afraid that Cracker will leave a bad image in front of Namikaze Kirido. Everything in the world, huh? Namikaze Kirido smiled disdainfully. This is just fooling you people. Wealth, fame, prestige. This is what Roger said. What is left there? Then let me ask you, do I really need these three things? Hearing this, the three of them were taken aback for a moment, and then fell into deep thought. Yeah, that's right. Now Namikaze Kirido owns the Golden City, which claims to hold 20% of the world's money. Advertisement as for fame, fortune and reputation, it is already recognized as the strongest in the world, and even killed 2 marine marshals, and now killed the 4 emperors. It seems that Namikaze Kirido really doesn't need the so-called big secret treasure. The three of Katakuri are not stupid. After hearing these few words, they can probably understand what Namikaze Kirido meant. In the future, I will give you a huge surprise. You will see a world that you have never seen before, and fight for me there. From the perspective of others, Namikaze Kirido lost his mind and started talking nonsense. Seeing the expressions of the three, Namikaze Kirido knew that they had figured it out. So, what is it about yourself that is worthy of the other party's fancy? Even if they join forces, it is impossible to be the opponent of Namikaze Kirido. Then he continued. That's right, I have all these 3 things, so that big secret treasure has no meaning at all to me. Interest of. Katakuri, do you know why I invited you to join me? I said before that your vision is actually not only yours. Everyone's vision is too small. I can tell you that the reason why I let you join me is not because of your strength. In the territory of the world, it's just an interest. But the 3 of them are different. Before Namikaze Kirido arrived at Cake Island, the Big Mom pirates had carefully checked each other's information. At that time, she showed absolute force that surpassed everything. A world you've never seen? You know, the intelligence news of the Big Mom pirates is very strong. Hearing this, Katakuri's expression was a little dazed. Yes, he didn't know why. Namikaze Kirido seemed to appear out of thin air. Before he showed up in Sabaody Archipelago, there was no news. However, I will not do such troublesome things for such a little interest. This world is too small. If he wants to attack the world government, he alone is enough. In the big news a while ago, Namikaze Kirido hit the Holy Land alone. I don't even know what it means for Namikaze Kirido to find Doflamingo and those people. His strength has surpassed himself and others by too much. Chapter 279 Big News. Basically, every force with a powerful intelligence organization is very confident in its own sources. Just like the 5 elders of the world government, they also sent people to check the origin of Namikaze Kirido, but the news was the same as that obtained by the Big Mom pirates. No such person found. Coupled with what Namikaze Kirido said now, the third person of Tien Taku had to think of an unbelievable fact. That is, Namikaze Kirido does not belong this world. Thinking about it this way seems to be right. Why has there never been a character like Namikaze Kirido in this world? Why does he have an incomprehensible power beyond ordinary people as soon as he appears? Facing the world government, it simply doesn't give you face, and you can't take care of yourself if you hit it directly. I have no interest in the title of One Piece or the great secret treasure. Thinking of this, not only Katakuri, but also Smoothie and Cracker's eyes were full of enthusiasm. If it is true, there really are different worlds, then they are so lucky to choose to follow Namikaze Kirido. Looking at the expressions of the 3 people in front of him, Namikaze Kirido knew that they had probably already guessed it. He never thought of hiding that he is a visitor from another world, but no one has asked him to say that. Now with the change of the plot, some things should be said. Think about it, in the world of pirates, if a group of so-called villain pirates successfully overthrow the world government, and if the other 4 emperors are destroyed, then the plot will be completely changed, and the world order can still sit still even if he wins. In fact, Namikaze Kirido doesn't want to be so troublesome, but if the world order is determined not to come out, he doesn't have any crimes to beat them out. You can't punch the sky, can you? That doesn't do anything either. So after arriving in a new world, he has to integrate into the world and then change the world. Only in this way can he be regarded as a reversal of the world order. At that time, he will not be able to come out if he doesn't want to. Willing to fight for the captain, Katakuri knelt on one knee, offering his loyalty, and Smoothie and Cracker at the side also imitated his actions.
Call me the leader in the future. I'm not a pirate, and I don't have any ships. What kind of captain do you call me?
Yes, Chief. Advertisement. Call me when the Golden City arrives. During this period of time, think about your own shortcomings. Compared with other worlds, your strength is not enough at all. When your name needs to be improved, come to me. Strength, I can give it to you. Hearing this, the three of Katakuri nodded again and said yes, and they confirmed the news of other worlds from Namikaze Kirito. It simply subverted their three views, and as for being able to bestow power, they were even fanatical. But just like what Namikaze Kirito said, blindly adding the amount will not work or not, you must consider what you really need, and after learning such shocking news, the three of them also need to go back and digest it. Then the three of Katakuri left the room, and only Namikaze Kirito was left looking at the ceiling, wondering what he was thinking. 4 Emperor's Big Mom dies. The Big Mom pirates are under Namikaze Kirito. Golden City will move into Wanguo. The next day, these three news shocked the world again. Everyone thought that after Namikaze Kirito slapped world government twice, he would stop in a short time. Who knew that just attending a tea party would kill the host of the tea party, Big Mom? Moreover, it only took half a day to decide the outcome. Most of the top powerhouses in this world are physically strong, so once they start fighting. Fighting for 3 days and 3 nights is considered a warm-up, and as 4 emperors, although we all know that Namikaze Kirito is powerful, but it was only half a day, and he was killed by Big Mom, which is terrifying to think about. But thinking about it again, it didn't take long for Namikaze Kirito to hit the Holy Land and kill the 2 marine marshals, and everyone was relieved. The Big Mom pirate group joined Namikaze Kirito, and no one was surprised. The pirate world itself is plundering. It is not uncommon for you to kill the captain and take in the younger brother. As for the Golden City moving to Wanguo, there is no problem. The Golden City itself is located in New World, and it moves frequently. Everyone has to contact each other every time. Now the Golden City directly announced that it has stopped in Wanguo. Those who don't want to go must feel that it doesn't matter, and those who want to go, there is nothing they can't beat by taking more sea routes, not to mention the scenery above Wanguo, they have long wanted to see it. Holy place. The 5 elders are about to blow up. 0. Ask for flowers. Advertisement. Although Stracy's mission was completed beautifully, the marriage between the Bigman pirates and Namikaze Kirito was indeed destroyed. Not only that, even Big Mom was killed. The death of the 4 emperors is simply not too comfortable for the world government. However, the premise is that Namikaze Kirito benefited from this plan. The CP0 agency has already told the 5 elders, Namikaze Kirito and the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Monkey D. Dragon contacted, do not know what they said. In the eyes of the 5 elders, Dragon is definitely looking to work with Namikaze Kirito. As long as there is a slight possibility, this matter must be put on the agenda. The Revolutionary Army itself is enough to cause headaches for the world government, and now they are going to cooperate with Namikaze Kirito? Not only that, the forces operated by Big Mom for many years have directly made a wedding dress for Namikaze Kirito. People called Namikaze Kirito the 4 emperors before, because he was able to overwhelm others and become one of the 4 emperors by virtue of his own combat power. And apart from a Golden City, there are only a few strong people going south. Today, the children of Big Mom are all under the command of Namikaze Kirito. Coupled with the group of people in the Golden City, it has to be said that now he has become the strongest force in the New World. It is estimated that the warships that Marine passed by had to endure several big fights before they could leave. It couldn't have been worse for the 5 elders. House Stracy almost regained consciousness, but the whole body is broken. It is estimated that it will take a period of recuperation before I can continue to perform the task. It's troublesome this time. Namikaze Kirito is no longer a lone ranger. He has a powerful force. We have to consider what the redhead said. What I'm most afraid of is that even if we cooperate, we may not be able to win Namikaze Kirito. At that time, we will completely tear up our face. Who can guarantee that he will not do some crazy things? 1. What a headache. When did our world government get pushed to this level by one person? It's a shame. If there is really no other way, I can only ask Mr. I Am to take action. Are you still looking for Lord I Am? Then what is the meaning of our existence? Always trouble the Lord to take action. Sooner or later, we will also be useless. Wait for news from the red hair first. Chapter 280. The Golden City arrives. More than a week has passed since the battle of the 2 emperors. It is worth mentioning that the Cake Island has been restored and upgraded, but now the island has become 2 parts. There is a deep ditch blocking the 2 islands in the middle, which is the result of Big Mom's battle with Namikaze Kirito. Of course, this does not affect anything. A bridge made of biscuits is directly erected on it, making it more convenient for people traveling on both sides. The sea area near Wanguo is the territory of the Big Mom pirates, and it is now under the command of Namikaze Kirito. Because he didn't have his own pirate flag, he took off Big Mom's flag directly and didn't hang a new flag. But anyone with a discerning eye knows that this is the territory of Namikaze Kirito. As long as they don't want to die, basically no one dares to make trouble. The Golden City is an example of 180. When it belonged to the countries under the world government, some people made troubles. After following Namikaze Kirito, no one dared to make trouble at all. Because these people also know that the world government may have scruples in acting, but Namikaze Kirito really has no scruples. Even the tiger of the world government dares to break off your 2 tiger teeth directly, and even the world government can only break the teeth and swallow them in the stomach. People from other forces, why dare to ignore Namikaze Kirito? This has led to a truly peaceful atmosphere in the Golden City, and Namikaze Kirito has also achieved it. there is no faction management in the Golden City. As long as you don't do anything and don't cause trouble, no one will trouble you. You are any power, even if you come here to inquire about information, as long as you consume, then you are safe. They will also enjoy all the top treatment in the Golden City. The popularity of Golden City has surpassed that of the past, and it can create new profit records every day. For Wangguo, Namikaze Kirito also planned this way, because Big Mom loves food most, so most of the children's devil fruit abilities are related to eating, and the buildings on the island are all made of desserts. It would be a pity not to use it. What's the point of guarding an empty island by yourself? After the Golden City is officially incorporated, the islands in the 10,000 kingdoms can also be built into the world's top tourist cities. That can improve the prosperity here, why not do it? Today, the pier of Cake Island is very lively, and basically everyone from the Charlotte family has come here. That's because of Katakori's summoning. Advertisement. Namikaze Kirito was lazy these days, so he handed Tezulo's phone bug directly to Katakori, and let the two of them hand over the matter. Knowing that the Golden City will sail into the Sea of 10,000 Nations today, Katakori directly led everyone here to greet him. After all, they joined Namikaze Kirito later, so of course they have to show some sincerity. Soon, the giant ship of the Golden City appeared in people's field of vision, a mobile entertainment city, a luxurious leisure and entertainment place. Even Charlotte's children have a hint of longing in their eyes. They know that the Golden City will be their own in the future, so why not go up there and enjoy it? Coming. Katakori looked at the sea calmly, his sense of knowledge already sensed the approach of a small boat. There are several powerful oars on it, and if nothing unexpected happens, it is Tezulo and others. Sure enough, the boat sailed to the pier. Tetsulo, Boa Hancock, Nico Robin, Bara Carla and Doflamingo are all here. Fufurfur. Katakori, I'm really happy to hear that all of you have joined. After all, we have been long-term partners. Doflamingo, at this time, Doflamingo was wearing a flamingo coat and walked in front of Katakori with steps that no relatives recognized. Big Mom has good relations with many underground forces, and Doflamingo, one of the underground giants, of course also has connections. What's more, Big Mom once cooperated with Doflamingo to make the common people huge. After joining Namikaze Kirito's command, Big MBRH cut off contact electrically. Tezulo, the helm of the Golden City, also greeted Katakori and his party with a smile. They had been chatting on the phone for a while, and they were still familiar with each other. After the Pirate Empress, Boa Hancock came down, her beautiful eyes sparkled everywhere. Smoothie saw this scene and of course understood what was going on. Just before she came, she was called into the room by Namikaze Kirito. Needless to say, when she came out, she went to the bathroom to clean her jade feet. It seems to be the norm these days, and Namikaze Kirito is very interested in Smoothie's long legs. Advertisement. While Smoothie felt ashamed and angry, there was also a tinge of rejoicing. After all, it was just a foot now, and the critical step had not yet been reached. After Namikaze Kirito enjoyed it, tell her that the Empress is here, and just ask her to find him in the palace of Gensokyo. Boa Hancock, Sir Kirito is in the palace in the center of the island, you go from here. Shut up. Disrespectful person. Boa Hancock directly interrupted Smoothie's words. Who allows you to call my concubine by her first name? What? Smoothie's eyes widened, saying I was rude. Robbing a man from me. I haven't said you were rude yet. I am Namikaze Kirito's fiancé. Bah. What am I thinking? It seemed that he was irritated by Boa Hancock's arrogant attitude, and Smoothie felt that there was something wrong with his mind. Obviously she was forced by Namikaze Kirito to do something she felt ashamed and angry about. How could she still think of the word fiancé? It's crazy. Seeing that Smoothie didn't respond to him, Boa Hancock subconsciously went to see a doctor. I saw that Smoothie's face was angry for a while and smiled for a while, full of entanglement. Seeing this scene, Boa Hancock was also a little dazed. Could it be that he was going too far? Did he just drive people crazy? You guys, drive the female DTN to my leader. 5.9. Katakori and Tezuro talked. Of course they knew that Boa Hancock was Namikaze Kirito's woman, so they called out the words Empress. Seeing that his younger sister Smoothie was having trouble, he immediately assigned 2 people to lead the Empress. Before leaving, Boa Hancock looked at the crazy Smoothie, feeling a little puzzled. The reason why she started to show off was not because of the news in the newspaper a few days ago that Namikaze Kirito was going to marry Smoothie. You know, because of this incident, the room decoration of the Golden King Hotel was damaged by Boa Hancock. Come here to meet the real master directly. Boa Hancock will not give her a good face. But I didn't expect that it was just a blow to the horse and a good person was crazy. Chapter 281. Operation Nico Robin. In the center of Cake Island, the former Big Mom Castle has been overthrown, but replaced by a luxurious palace, which has just been built in recent days, and it was built for Namikaze Kirito. For those with so many dessert fruit abilities, it is not too easy to create such a palace. Just like Tezulo's Golden King Hotel, which is made of gold, the buildings on the Cake Island are all made of desserts. It is luxurious and simple, and it can also be used as emergency food at critical moments. Boa Hancock came here directly under the leadership of 2 subordinates, and saw Namikaze Kirito on the throne in the middle. There was a trace of fascination in the beautiful eyes, and she directly flew towards her. Honey, I'm a concubine. The fragrance is in the nose, and the soft body is in the arms. It has to be said that Boa Hancock's appearance and figure are simply every man's dream. Even though he has had several romantic nights with her, Namikaze Kirito still can't put it down for her. Honey. Sensing the movements of his own man, Boya Hanku 03K's eyes also became a little blurred. These days, it is simply too much suffering for her, she is a love brain, and everything is centered on her own man. As a result, they separated for so many days, and more than that, there was even news that he was going to get married. The pain of longing is almost overflowing, and now sitting in the arms of Namikaze Kirito, my heart is wrapped in sweetness. I heard from Tezulo that the Golden King Hotel has been renovated several times, Namikaze Kirito said jokingly. Then, isn't that because that old woman from Big Mom actually wants to use her daughter and concubine to snatch her, my dear? When he said this, Boa Hancock's pretty face was slightly flushed. You are mine, and likewise, I am yours too. Who can snatch it away? It won't be like this next time. Namikaze Kirito stretched out his finger and scratched Boa Hancock's nose lovingly. I know. Boa Hancock enjoyed Namikaze Kirito's caress very much, and his body twisted a little unconsciously. This can rekindle the fire that Namikaze Kirito had just been dealt with by Smoothie. Boa Hancock seemed to have noticed something strange too, but instead of stopping her actions, she became more cerebral. You caused it yourself, you solved it yourself. Advertisement. Yes, my dear husband. Boa Hancock squatted on the ground, and lowered his head slowly. Nico Robin, an intellectual beauty, was also led to the gate of the palace, but was stopped by the guards. I want to see the leader. What are you doing? I'm sorry, Nico Robin. The leader just called the phone bug, but no one came, and he said he would wait until night. The guard heard Nico Robin's question, because he didn't know what the other party's status was under Namikaze Kirito's command, so he didn't dare to disrespect. Oh, is the Empress here? Nico Robin asked suspiciously. My Lord Empress just went in not long ago, we don't know the rest. Yes, I see. Nico Robin did not embarrass the guard, but chose to turn around and leave. There is only one reason why she rushed to see Namikaze Kirito so urgently, and that is Namikaze Kirito's ability, the ability to revive others. When Nico Robin was in the Golden City, he saw Namikaze Kirito bring the dead body, Mr. Tanaka, back to life. Since that day, she has been struggling. You must know that her hometown, Ohara, was destroyed, and no one escaped that catastrophe, including the scholars she respected, and the mother who had never met a few times, but had a deep memory. Like Tezulo, who doesn't want a dead friend to appear in front of him. From that day on, Nico Robin thought about what he could do, and asked Namikaze Kirito to help him revive his loved ones. She is a smart woman, she still remembers a sentence Namikaze Kirito said, that is, wait until his power is restored, let alone revive a person, even a group of people can be revived. When saying this, Namikaze Kirito also deliberately glanced at her. From then on, she understood that those who died in her hometown may also be resurrected. There is nothing good without a reason in the world. Although Namikaze Kirito has such abilities, it does not mean that he will use them for her. Nico Robin has lived in the dark since he was a child, and he doesn't really understand such things as trading. In order to revive the white moonlight stella in his heart, Tezulo can sacrifice the Golden City and his loyalty. But her only reliance is to understand ancient texts and find ancient weapons, but as I said before, Namikaze Kirito doesn't seem to need any ancient weapons, he can suppress the world by himself. Advertisement, but she has nothing but this, maybe the only thing there is this innocent body. Thinking of this, Nico Robin's pretty face turned red, and she knew why she thought of this. Totally because Namikaze Kirito never kept his voice down when he did that to Boa Hancock and Bar Carla. You know, there is only one room on the top floor of the King of Gold Hotel, because there are more bedrooms in the room, so the bedrooms of Boa Hancock, Bar Carla and Nico Robin were all arranged by Tezulo there. This is Tezulo's disguised gesture of goodwill. As a subordinate, he must understand what the leader needs. He's qualified. But he was wrong about one thing, that is, Boa Hancock and Barbara Carla did become Namikaze Kirito's women, but she was not Nico Robin. Enduring the voice over there every 327 days was a torment for the untrained Nico Robin. But for fear of causing Namikaze Kirito's dissatisfaction, she can't give her opinion. Now I came to the palace to find Namikaze Kirito. Originally I wanted to see if I could lead him to find 100 years of blank history and add ancient weapon, can I get back the lives of the villagers of Ohara? But Boa Hancock went in first. How long will these two be lingering? Nico Robin couldn't bear it any longer, he had no choice. Once the thoughts in his mind appeared, it was too difficult to suppress them. Dazzling. The ability of flower fruit was directly used. Boa Hancock was working, with his head down at this time, completely oblivious to the appearance of an eye on the wall. Only Namikaze Kirito, looking at the eye on the wall, showed a knowing smile. This scene directly frightened Nico Robin to remove his ability. Seen? It was definitely seen, it was clearly smiling at me just now? What should I do now? Nico Robin was shy and impatient. Peeking at others is a big taboo, but he was caught on the spot. But now she still has the shameful scene in her mind. She only heard the voice before, but this time she caught up with the live broadcast. Chapter 282 Red Hair and Marine join forces at night. The Cake Island Plaza is brightly lit tonight. No way, Namikaze Kirito now has a lot of subordinates, even more than any four emperors group. After all, when Doflamingo joined Namikaze Kirito, he brought not only himself, but also members of the Don Quixote family. There are also people from the Golden City, and everyone from the Charlotte family. In contrast, Shiryu of the Rain and K-Lock Dar are lone rangers. Today, as an integration gathering between Golden City and Wanguo, the venue is directly placed in the square of Cake Island. Food and wine from all over the world are brought here. In terms of the ability to collect things, the Charlotte family ranks second, but no one dares to claim the first. Seeing that everyone was here, Namikaze Kirito and Boa Hancock also came out. Namikaze Kirito had a charming smile on her face, while Boa Hancock had a blush on her pretty face, and the number one beauty in the world added a bit of charm. When Namikaze Kirito came to the top chair, he directly picked up the wineglass and looked at the fiery eyes below. He said loudly, "Everyone, today is our first meeting. I hope that after tonight, you can all blend into each other well. In the future, I will lead you to lay down more territories, have more power and fame and wealth. Just follow me and I will show you a different world. Banquet, start." Oh, as Namikaze Kirito drank the wine in the glass, with the cheers of the people below, the banquet was announced to begin. Looking at the beautiful things in front of him, Namikaze Kirito had to sigh, that old hag of Big Mom really enjoys it. But now, let yourself enjoy the off-the-shelf. Fooferfer, leader, here I come. Hearing this magical laughter, you don't even need to look up to know that Doflamingo is coming. Doflamingo, how are things going? It has been basically checked. Advertisement. Doflamingo sat next to Namikaze Kirito and spoke. A few days ago, Namikaze Kirito gave Doflamingo a task, which is to use his influence in the underground world and the world government to check the movements of the red-haired Shanks. Although I don't think what kind of waves the red hair can make, the identity of the red hair in the original work is indeed unknown. If such a threat exists, maybe something will happen. Even if Namikaze Kirito doesn't care, it's impossible for his group of people not to care. Especially after taking in the Charlotte family, the territory is vast, and it is inevitable that the redhead will come up with some conspiracy and tricks. Don't think that the red hair is some kind of hero and won't do such a thing. In the eyes of the red-haired Shanks, the world has always been the first, including the world's structure. In the original book, he stopped the Summit War. Didn't One Piece Roger join hands with Marine to launch a battle of the Valley of the Gods? Just because the rocks want to attack the celestial dragons? The current Namikaze Kirito is somewhat similar to the former rocks. They both treat the world government with contempt and plan to attack the Holy Land. In the eyes of the red-haired Shanks, the truth of the world can be solved by Luffy, but the world regime must not be overthrown by the evil party. Otherwise, it would be the people of the world itself who would be hurt. I have to say that the thinking of the red-haired Shanks is sometimes more like a marine, and being a pirate is all talent. Red Hair, Luffy, Roger, and others are not pirates in the traditional sense at all. They have the title of pirates, but they have never done anything like burning, killing, or looting. I have always longed for adventures in the sea. Namikaze Kirito doesn't dislike this kind of person, but if he wants to attack himself now, it's simply too unreasonable not to reciprocate. Hearing his leader's inquiry, Doflamingo had an evil smile on his face. The red-haired guy, after failing to join forces with Big Mom and Kaido, he really went to the Holy Land, and it is said that he also went to naval headquarters recently. With Doflamingo's identity as celestial dragons, it is not difficult to find out this kind of secret. In the Holy Land, there are many mobs that he can feed. What's more, there is Tezulo's cooperation. If you want money, you have money, and if you want people, you have people. It wasn't surprising to find traces of redheads. Advertisement. Oh, did the redhead decide to team up with the world government to deal with me? Namikaze Kirito seemed interested. You know, as the leader of Luffy, the role of red hair is beyond doubt, and the Blackbeard in this world has been terminated by Namikaze Kirito. Even so, the World Order only observed it and did not appear in person. That would be if important figures in red hair and world government including Marine were killed by Namikaze Kirito again. The World Order may not be able to endure it. After Doflamingo left, Namikaze Kirito smiled and looked aside into the shadows. What's more, if the red hair and Marine can directly appear in front of him, it will be done once and for all. Of course, Namikaze Kirito understood what he meant by the actions in his mouth. When that day came, those celestial dragons who were high above them would definitely be pulled down from the altar. Furfurfur. The red-haired guy has really lost the dignity of a pirate, but it's also true. Where did our evil party get such dignity? Leader, do you want to prepare a big gift for him? It is said that the eyes under the Doflamingo sunglasses are full of expectation. This is his lifelong wish. No need. Namikaze Kirito waved his hand. He just needs to confirm the movement of the red hair. And it is still growing. If you solve them all directly, wouldn't the world wake up early? After all, you ruined the script prepared for Luffy beyond recognition, so how can the world work normally? Just keep watching Qian Zhao them, and report the situation to me at any time. Once they make a big move, it's time for us to take action. He waited for a day, has waited too long. Ems Robin, how long are you going to hide? Your lurking ability is really good. Straw Hat Luffy was around Namikaze Kirito. He had observed carefully. The world luck on Luffy was really dazzling. Otherwise, how could these rebellious villains become so well-behaved under the command of Namikaze Kirito? Once the growth trajectory of the world center changes, the changes will be huge for the entire world. As for the success of the plan, he has never doubted it, or in other words, anyone who has seen Namikaze Kirito's terrifying strength will not have the slightest doubt. Different from the setting of Naruto and Sasuke in the Hokage world, in this world, Luffy is the center of the world. Chapter 283. You know, a knit in the shadows, there was a rustling sound and Nico Robin, an intellectual beauty, came out. Mr. Kirito. Nico Robin's face was slightly embarrassed, and his beautiful eyes did not dare to look at him at all. So why is our beautiful Ms. Robin hiding? Am I scary? Namikaze Kirito said with interest. No, no. Nico Robin hurriedly explained. You know, she asked Namikaze Kirito for something, so she became cautious about the past. Seeing Nico Robin's appearance, Namikaze Kirito waved his hand and said, Don't be so nervous, I'm joking with you, sit down. When Boa Hancock on the side looked at Nico Robin, there was no vigilance or jealousy in her beautiful eyes. Although Boa Hancock is full of arrogance, it is because of what happened to him when he was a child. In essence, he is a simple and kind person. Contact with Nico Robin in the days before. She had let her guard down a long time ago and accepted this friend. The darkness of human nature that Nico Robin has experienced makes her have a smart brain, and of course she will spare no effort when she wants to have a good relationship with someone. He spoke directly about what happened to him when he was a child. When hearing Nico Robin's experience for the first time, Boa Hancock couldn't help shedding 2 lines of tears. She thought that being caught as a slave and being beaten and scolded every 260 days was bad enough. I didn't expect Nico Robin to be even worse than that. When she was young, the villagers thought she was a monster, and the children even stoned her. Although she was taught by some scholars in the village, her parents were never around. When I finally saw my mother, the whole village including her mother was destroyed by Marine's Buster Call. If Aokiji didn't dislike his best friend and Akainu's behavior, little Robin might have died in the fire. Although he saved his life later, the bounty of 80 million berries made all the pirate bounty hunters, including the public, very tempted. Fortunately, there is no unparalleled road, even if it is hard, even if it is lonely. Nico Robin has grown up. After hearing these experiences, Boa Hancock felt a little sympathy for Nico Robin, plus Nico Robin's intention to please. It can be said that the two have now become sisters with a good relationship. So Boa Hancock might be jealous of Smoothie, but definitely not Nico Robin. Advertisement, Mr. Kirito, I have something to ask you. After taking her seat, Nicole, Addie, looked at Namikaze Kirito with pleading eyes, biting her lower lip tightly with her white teeth. It was really difficult for her to ask for help. The difficulty is not that you can't hide your face, but that it is really difficult to speak up when you are not related to each other, and you can't bring benefits to the other party. Namikaze Kirito, who is familiar with the original book, of course understands what Nico Robin wants, but he still asks, what's the matter? I want to wait until your strength returns to its peak. Can you help me revive my relatives, or only my mother? Resurrection. Namikaze Kirito looked at Nico Robin, who was slightly trembling at this time, and said softly, You should understand that there is no free lunch in the world. Resurrect your mother, and even resurrect all your resurrected people. I can do it, then you can do it for me. Bring what? Because of excessive tension, Nico Robin's soft lips were bitten by her, which made Hancock feel a little distressed. But no matter how good her relationship with Nico Robin is, she will not intercede with the Lord when Namikaze Kirito is speaking. It should be because Boa Hancock knew that if she spoke, her husband would agree immediately, but she would never do this, and she would leave the decision to her husband. I just need to be a little wife. After a moment of silence, Nico Robin said in a deep voice. I don't know anything that can be traded with you. The only thing I am good at is ancient characters. I can help you find ancient weapon in the blank 100-year history. Others, I don't know what else to do. Really? But these are not enough, you should know what I want? While speaking, Namikaze Kirito gave Nico Robin a meaningful look. This look made Nico Robin stunned, and then she seemed to think of something. Her face was a little pale. If she hadn't been sitting on the chair, she might have fallen down. After a while, Nico Robin seemed to have made a decision. There was a trace of sadness in her beautiful eyes, and she said softly, Well, I understand. Boa Hancock on the side also lightly pinched Namikaze Kirito's waist. Is it too much to cheat in front of your wife? But seeing Nico Robin's cute and pitiful appearance, Boa Hancock also had to admit that the other party has the capital to make men like him. In other words, when Nico Robin came to Namikaze Kirito's side, Boa Hancock was already mentally prepared for this. Advertisement at this time, the most confused person is Namikaze Kirito. You understand? What do you understand? And Boa Hancock, this look seems to say that I am a fool? The banquet below is still going on. In any faction, it is impossible for people like Katakuri, Doflamingo, Tesoro, Shiryu of the Rain, and K-Lock to live in harmony. What's more, Nico Robin's mind and learning ability are quite good. After all, they used to be rebellious, but now they have a Namikaze Kirito who can suppress the world by himself. In the end, looking at the expressions of the two women in front of him, he must have misunderstood it. Not to mention there are so many thorns in the Charlotte family. No, are you misunderstood? What do you know? Namikaze Kirito was a little dumbfounded. To be honest, he also has a little interest in ancient weapons and blank history. You know what? You know a woolen yarn. It's a pity that she is the child of destiny, the partner of Straw Hat Luffy, so Namikaze Kirito intends to use the condition of resurrection to let her join his command. In this banquet, not only did not provoke any conflicts, some people even used their abilities to perform. The leader doesn't need to say anything. I understand, I know what to do, Nico Robin said lightly. Really, take him for something. Namikaze Kirito was speechless again, and now, robbing the civilian girl, is about to be confirmed. Well, Robin, you but under Namikaze Kirito, after these people got together, they became very harmonious. But Nico Robin has good potential. With the development of flower fruit, coupled with armament hockey, it may not be as powerful as wood style. Chapter 284 The Remnants of the Whitebeard Pirates. The banquet lasted the whole night, and for the pirates, there was nothing more satisfying than having a banquet. The endless food and wine are more attractive to the taste buds. It was already dawn, and the banquet was barely over. Namikaze Kirito also accompanied him to the end. In the early morning, he took Boa Hancock and Ba Carla back to his palace. Nico Robin went to a luxurious hotel prepared for cadres on an island. Although I already understood the meaning of Namikaze Kirito, she was still an innocent woman after all, so how could she be sent to her door so easily? She still needs some time to think about it. At noon, when the 10,000 kingdoms and the Golden City had successfully merged together, a battle broke out on an island in the 10,000 Nations Sea. The two parties in the conflict are the Charlotte family and the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates. The reason is also very simple. A pirate of the Whitebeard pirates taunted Big Mom's death because of a drunken slip of the tongue, which attracted the Charlotte family to do it directly. Just kidding, even though I'm under Namikaze Kirito now, you've danced in my face, how can I still spoil you? The two of them were just fighting on a small scale, but the Whitebeard pirates have a common problem, that is, as long as you touch my partner. Then don't blame me for directly attacking you. If Whitebeard was around, of course he could do this, after all, on the sea. Everyone was afraid of the man who made a fool of himself that month. But it's different now, the Whitebeard pirates should develop in a low-key way. Unfortunately, they have an impulsive captain, Portgas d'Ace. He believed in Whitebeard's idea, and he fought in the Sea of 10,000 Nations. The pirate who caused trouble couldn't be defeated by himself, so he was dealt with, and then he went back to Kulsumwan. The incident intensified. Soon, just break through. Several captains of the Whitebeard pirates rushed over. Now the whole world knows that IWC has become the domain of Namikaze Kirito. Faced with the prestige of the strongest man, the members of the Whitebeard pirates did not dare to be careless. Ace, Marco, Diamond Josie, and Foil Pista all came. Advertisement: the island guarded only by the common people of the Charlotte family simply cannot withstand the attacks of so many strong men. The leader also directly dialed the phone bug on Cake Island. As soon as Katakuri received the news, he came to Namikaze Kirito's palace to report the situation. Oh, the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates? Namikaze Kirito smelled something different from this incident? It is understandable to say that Ace directly brought people to smash the scene on impulse, but it would be wrong if Marco was also there. After Whitebeard's death, there was no leader in the pirate group. Although Ace was elected as the captain, Ace did not take over the big job. He also knew his own personality. So the current Whitebeard pirates has no captain. Once there is something, it is all discussed by Marco, Ace, Joes and other captains. Marco, who is obviously smart, knows that Namikaze Kirito is in full swing, so he will never take the initiative to provoke him. Even if there is a dispute, it is estimated that the major incident will be reduced to a minor one. But he still brought people here, and brought so many captains. In other words, someone was behind them to encourage them to come. There is only one person in the sea who can instruct the Whitebeard pirates to be a gunner, and that is the red-haired Shanks who saved the life of the Whitebeard pirates. Want to test? Namikaze Kirito has already guessed their purpose, this time to make trouble, just to see how many people Namikaze Kirito can mobilize. Even if there is a chance, he would also like Zion from the Lot family, the instigator. This plan, if you think about it, is probably what the man with the highest IQ, Beckman, can come up with. Let them try it out. Thinking of this, Namikaze Kirito looked to Katakuri and gave his order. Fight directly, let them all go and have fun. There was a banquet just yesterday, and now it's a sideshow. Yes, Chief. After Katakuri said yes respectfully, he turned and left. Looking at the back of Katakuri leaving, Namikaze Kirito had an inexplicable smile on his face. Do you want to test the power he can mobilize, or even find a chance to instigate rebellion? The plan is good. After all, knowing yourself and the enemy will win every battle. In the plan against Namikaze Kirito, first understand the strength. Advertisement: personal strength must have been understood almost, and now what needs to be understood is whether those people under Namikaze Kirito are loyal or not. 0. Ask for flowers. Loyalty is something Namikaze Kirito has never cared much about. Nothing else. If you want someone to be loyal to you, the effect is very slight if you only use means. Only if you let them see hope, or fear you, this is called loyalty. The children of the Charlotte family saw the battle between Namikaze Kirito and Big Mom, and also learned something about what Namikaze Kirito will do in the future from Katakuri. So he didn't think that these people would betray him, let alone Doflamingo and others. Belonging to the territory of all nations, the civilians have long been taken to other islands by the Charlotte family's refuge ship. Even the world government doesn't have this ability. The bound men glared at the person who kicked him, and said loudly, I have notified Lord Katakuri, and reinforcements will be sent soon. I hope that by that time, you can still do this. To betray Namikaze Kirito? Unless the head is sick. But those Big Mom's subordinates, who are now called Namikaze Kirito's subordinates, were directly captured one by one. 0. A pirate from Whitebeard's remnant party came directly to Namikaze Kirito's men and kicked him. Strawberry Island. This is the island where contradictions are triggered, because the whole island resembles the shape of a strawberry, coupled with the naming method of Big Mom, so it is called Strawberry Island. ****. You were crazy. What was your strength before? Boy. It seems that you can't recognize the form now. Your so-called reinforcements haven't arrived yet, and now the island is full of our people. Boom. Seeing this scene, Ace didn't say anything, but frowned. The cause of the conflict was these two people, because this is the territory of Wan Guo, and the former was taken care of, well before the remnants of Whitebeard arrived. The remnants of Whitebeard didn't go after them either, and they didn't even bother to do so. They are pirates, not marines, so what if they kick captives twice? It is inevitable in battle. The miracle of resurrecting the dead has already been performed before their eyes. Before he could finish speaking, he kicked him in the face again, and the water mixed with his teeth spit it out. Chapter 285. Crush them. Pooh. Namikaze Kirito's men were obviously hard bones. Even though they were treated like this, they still didn't let go, and spit a mouthful of blood on the opponent's face. Just when that person was about to kill him with his own hands. A member of the Whitebeard pirates ran over quickly. Captain Ace, Captain Marco, a ship was found on the sea surface, led by the Desert Three Generals, and Heavenly Yaksha Doflamingo, Sand Crocodile K. Lokdar, Rain Shiryu and others. What? Real or fake? The appearance of this personal name directly surprised the surrounding Whitebeard remnants. Although I know that Namikaze Kirito will definitely send people, how can I think that this is more than just sending people? They are almost out, except that the Pirate Queen and the Golden Emperor Tesoro did not come. Basically, all the cadres under Namikaze Kirito's 180 came here. Hey, just in time. A hint of success flashed in Marco's eyes. Since we promised Hongfa, let's do things well. I know all these people, so we can have a good chat. Ace nodded in agreement. He also agrees with the red-haired Shanks' point of view. When he was in the Summit War, Ace knew that Shanks was his younger brother, Luffy's savior, and he had a good impression of him. A few days ago, when the red hair came to the door, he talked about the structure of the world in Namikaze Kirito. He talked to Ace because the redhead brought up a district. That's Straw Hat Luffy. That is his brother. Redhead said that the world can be changed, but it must be a person with sunshine and freedom in his heart. Although this person didn't say it explicitly, but Redhead's hint let Ace know that this person is Luffy. At the same time, he also said that if this world is subverted by Namikaze Kirito, it will definitely usher in unprecedented terror. It is not certain that the world will collapse directly. After all, since the appearance of Namikaze Kirito, people feel that he has a strong personality and cruel methods. As long as you mess with him, he will kill you directly if nothing happens. Handing over the world to such a person, let alone a redhead, even Ace is a little worried. Advertisement: he inherited Roger and Whitebeard's personality, so in some ways he is also similar to the red-haired Shanks. For example, for the sake of the so-called righteousness of the world, he resolutely brought people to test Namikaze Kirito. This time, the red-haired man has already made a plan, and Namikaze Kirito will definitely not take action himself. Ace and Marco are the Four Emperors group, but they are just the remnants of the Whitebeard Pirates group. Without the central figure of the captain, it is destined to be a group of people who cannot achieve success. Even if Ace becomes the captain, he won't be able to accomplish anything in a short period of time. In the New World, there are many strong people. The current Ace simply doesn't have the qualifications and influence to protect Yuichi's entire pirate group. Master Katakuri, I have seen it, that's right, it is Whitebeard's remnants, Phoenix Marco, Fire Fist Ace, Diamond Jazzy and all the captains are here. On the boat, Katakuri listened to his subordinates' report. They are now Namikaze Kirito's subordinates, and they will definitely not use Big Mom's pirate flag again. So there are no signs on the hull. Hearing that those captain-level characters were all there, Katakuri already knew it. Just as his leader expected, the purpose of these guys is definitely not simple. There are so many captains here, those who didn't know thought you were here to fight Summit War. Using such a big battle to vent the anger of his subordinates, it's really ridiculous. Fooferfer. It must be the guy with the red hair, and the remnants of Whitebeard are really naive. They are willing to be used as gunmen, why not join us in the New World? Doflamingo was a little excited. In the past, when he faced Kaido and Big Mom, he was definitely fearful, not to mention scared. Let alone the Whitebeard pirates. Now under the banner of Namikaze Kirito, it seems that I really feel what is called an absolute villain. That is, even the world government dare not provoke you easily. What Marine? They have already given up the position of Shichibukai, they see themselves, and now it's not as if they didn't see. The roles of hunter and prey have completely changed. This transformation is really refreshing. Lock Dahl was smoking a cigar, still in the same long Aeotian appearance, and seemed indifferent to the upcoming battle. Only Shiryu the Rain, a militant, licked his blade, and his bloodthirsty instinct excited him again. Advertisement: Whitebeard Pirates. It's just right, let's decide the outcome. Charlotte Cracker hid himself among the biscuit soldiers. Although he is afraid of pain, he also likes to fight in essence. These captains should be able to squeeze out good juice. Smoothie sat on the chair, raising his proud long legs. Docking immediately, prepare for battle. Following Katakuri's order, everyone on board clenched their weapons tightly. This is nothing to negotiate, you have already marked my territory, can I still be used to you? Go up and give you 2 big fights before talking. In the past, there were many frictions between the 4 emperors' regiments, so this kind of battle is not surprising to them. It's just not as big a scene as today. Whitebeard dispatched more than a dozen captains, and on my own side, all 3 desert generals gathered together. Even with Doflamingo's powerful reinforcements, there is nothing to worry about. The Whitebeard pirates are also ready for battle, and all of them are watching the ship that is about to dock with vigilance. It's not that Marco didn't think about flying directly, first giving them a blow on the sea. But first, there is Doflamingo on the opposite side, as well as Katakuri and Smoothie, who can attack from a distance. Second, he originally wanted to wait until the meeting, to have a chat before deciding on the next battle. So he also stood in place, waiting for Katakuri and others to arrive. Soon, the ship 0.0 docked at the shore. People on both sides held their breath, and there was no tension in the battle. Seeing Katakuri walking down, Marco walked forward with a smile. After all, they're both members of the Four Emperors Regiment, and they must say hello when they meet, and then fight. As a result, his smile immediately froze on his face, because he heard what Katakuri said. Crush them. Oh. A group of subordinates directly waved their weapons and rushed towards the Whitebeard pirates. Katakuri also completely ignored Marco's goodwill smile. Instead his hands were covered by armament hockey, and he punched him head-on. With a sound of birdsong, Marco directly transformed into a bird-like form. Although he was a little confused, he still reacted to the attack.